the car no abandon.
Yes, or quite cherish you, and a sure charo quine. Penny no wire, ye bought quite but you as you. O Zoma ADAKABRI FRIMPONG MANSO. What Gina Quenya, baby.
Yamama Trassi. Na Yamama home. You free neat 100.9 FM so. And say ye ba manasui. Na ene a juada. Na ayawo mama bosume ne da etoso nsia afi empinu aduonu emienu mam se abodonko apa ho meet edu emiensa na enadue yetena ase a mementi dwumadie na yede bremu yede free eye neat 100.9 FM so ene se yede ba na dwumadie mi amedi ho chia me yefra me ADAKABRI Mamudu Osioma senior co-character mansa chia me kwabramafo ono so obetena se na fei production ne de panyini kwadwo da me ado ai na esini na so opa ase ma Jerry osai ageman na obo ne chidom na kua friye na eno nso so no wo toto enoma esebese wone ansa na eye technical production no abrafrema bankro osimara michi mafa eye yabeba panyini asisiri wabata ho ani se ohwa one na ya asafo one etoto enoma ede ama yene na enu akire no ana afei yade aseda ede ma engineering group fuei achuagbo worker watiako na jare na abuaje ada sankroma nso yesade mrane se sempro na pay facilities so ede facilities group no eye hwane a eye big solo ena dada ena yaw ena eye Godfred dodo na Fred Ubrana na fe so no Mapuna ena eye DJ Bosco na Mills nso yasan mrane se tai na on se bibia ekwaso se kama ena nsam no doso nsam no doso eye nsase no anom guso aye preso pantansa ase imu bedwo nei na nanoma site say omo site trasako for contempt emu nsem ebeba ensase na ye tete no wani ye dini ni ade ensem de ebi ewo mu eho nsem nyina nsase ebeba na fe so national security issues or see something say something simple and ye tiase edifa na ye ho ano ye bu ye nigu no ma bi so ni anya observant ade de beba emu nsem nyina ebeba still ensuo etwa ensensem a efri ensutoye no mu baaye no it's about greens any incline ana ya concrete bebrebe ana say eye rubber no ana yamena choku ye gotes ana yen disilti mu ana ekode ben emu nsem ebeba enti wadawroma mi adwumade mi di ho chia mi afra mi ADAKABRI Mamudu Osioma mi anhwe Democrata awie yensa ekaye fitin anopa ani aburumu animu no kakra ene se yede ekai mu Omapia Ghanaian Chronicle ono ene oye oman ne pia osi Otumfuos alleged 400-acre land drives NDC MPs crackers smahunu part 1 lands ni nananom nsase ni wafanom nsase na Kwame Nkrumah Stool Lands Act ye se ye de nsase no hu sika na ye de akwakwohye NLM ede politics enu ntie ba se de aban ne beji nsase no na eho empusuo kakra no wono di ama wahene na yatimi ahunu ba bi odi sika de bepa ene wagina sase ahuni asesen ena odi aba nti ensema Chronicle edi ato no Okoboy's National Health Insurance Authority visits Jack at Peduase. Dr. Okoboy on the National Health Insurance Authority is sitting there so on an impenifo nyina omuko aburi ana wamakwa brainstorming akoye no mu wie brainstorming no ana omako papa je kufufie akọ chia no emunsem and the atumanimi. Ghanaian Times, Ghana's most authoritative newspaper. Ye no de ebaye was saying national security warns of suspicious movements at Garu, Bungurugu, notifies Ghana Armed Forces and the police. Was say a nay, national security for Wamo say and Crofobi, Wamo Titimoto so, and now Wamo dia kata yanim, and as Ancrofuano, Wamo ninam abiponum, ninam abipona yase, Anches Wamo di free Garu, our upper east, Adinam Bungurugu, Adinam a year, and important more Hosea northeast, and Yabo Proti for Amania, and Yabo a year, a soldier for Swamania. This year kind at the end of the amamo. Stop circulating video of children who suffer ill treatment, abuses. Abranche bratapia, and kwadam kwadanyina bratapia, and kwadam kwadanya bompaima bratapia, Child Rights International, was it a ne, and kwadaya no suffer abuse. Near the video I could see so, near the woman for the atujano. Yenyai say, what papa do be jisika drew, na kwada under 12. Na yade your friend is saying come na kosinu so a branch share kura kwada under 12 prosini uniform kura wane ne nkasa want to na no enkwada under 12 just a prosini a one shot ade e na betimi na kasa enkwada de ehun kwotena ne mu a say ye ne forever na ehun ni tinimu it Child Rights International kwada bright appear was say Yenyan circulation of video and kwada or suffer ill treatment, or suffer abuses near the video as you so at Accra Extraordinary Summit. ECOWAS fails to slap new sanctions against 3 West African military rulers. Was there nay? ECOWAS if we be share mun kana hase ya. One man to me and sigina ye anka say Miami and Sambia soldier for aban ewo honom. Yebetimi ID and Shishebi Tabobi Edi Ato Wamo Eso. Daily Dispatch, factually reliable, reliably factual. MPP National Officer replies Amwakoba, where have you been since 2008 when Bawumia first became the running mate? Was say, Dr. Amwakoba, and Wabe can say, Dr. Mamad Bawumia, Wutu Shemwa. And nanu ya ni say wade no ho ebedo mamanyokui enti wanye obi a waye true blues ha said na wo beso no so say wo de flag bearership ekwa akoma no na yei na dispatch say MPP national officer bi na wono no wo busa Amwakoba se wo Amwakoba ahini pa na owo abra Dr. Mamadu Bawumia obebe ye na Nana Danko Kufuado, ne running mate. Where asam ana on the obusa ana ode ebaye. Na ye, we are willing to account for National Cathedral project. Dr. John Kuma, Honorable Member of Parliament for Joso, na oye Deputy Finance Minister. Ana wadia bay or say, krado. Dankunta buobi fa National Cathedral hono. Ya de beba. Delegate akwanchrafuono. Yea, NDC kick against Otumfuo lands. Was say Rashid Purple and what didn't phone about to say. Say NDC for one must say Yentiasia. Say ye baby issue and Sasia Otumfuo Diano. Ye de babe mano. Why Ami yo kumfi. And what pledge say, as gracia to MPP executives. And they wouldn't have some MPP now. Professor Amia Kumfi in Kabamuhine was one of the national chairman. Over here, Namunina yet to as gracia at the Amamo. Daily Statesman, and what they abaye or say, Sunyai Airport ready for commissioning. And what they ababe to one say, aye, Sunyai Airport, ya Nakatan Penifua Beba, na yetimi ababe de Benia. Na yababe adanadie. Was in no way for Otumfuo. NDC opposes release of Kumasi lands to Asante Hene. Oh, Debbie. Brad Philip Donko and our neighbor. As the members of the opposition National Democratic Congress minority in parliament are up in arms against the Kufuor government over release of lands to Kumasi, in Kumasi to Otumfuo, Asante. This NDC anger follows the release of a portion of land at a rich residential area in Kumasi to the Golden School. Meanwhile, information available from highly placed sources in government indicates that the processes leading to this release of land precede Akufo-Addo. We are not trying to say no. NDC fwa omo no na omo be yi omo ho adidi aba be kire yen. Daily Searchlight and what they buy. One student, one tree launched. Say ene a school for nkuma and ye dua nua. Hey! Dey Kufuor ne eye Aliu Mahama edua nua wadansoma. Enua je Kufuor ene Aliu Mahama dua ye no. No kwanie tanua na ebi da ho si ho. Enne kwadansoma kwahwe se ya twetwa se adua ne nyina to aguo. Ye yase akwadua foforo. Oma ba ne etimu. Dey Kufuor oni Aliu Mahama. Omudua nua wadansoma. Enua no omudua wadansoma no. Wan ne twetwa tugu ye. Wan ne twetwa se enua no tugu ye. Pamine
Ofa. Ofa se enua na wo kwan ho.
E wo kwan ho. Twetwa ne nyina ka roundabout no mu de kakra bi. Enem said that exhibition one na. Wo ma twetwa ne nyina to agu. Dey Kufuor ne Aliu Mahama ene dua se enua no.
Wow.
Ai.
Ana wo ma twa se enua ne.
Ye twa ne nyina to agu. Ne yasa ka chezu yasa ko dua de be enua biem. Ye twa ne nyina to agu. Kwabena to asoma me a.
Ofa ayi yo. Abusuafo Daily Searchlight enim hade na no wofa kan. Watrese one student one tree. Wo ma pa ho ntoma. Benito Wushibio, Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and wapa ntoma. Adisiani baako bia wakwa akodua dua baako. Ononyafo abet kandapa and wono nso kasa wa hei. Watrese adisia wo mu Upper East Region. Wo mu nya careful na enipabonefo ni nya wo mu beti wo mu bone. Enelefo na wo makabo mu a wo mu foundation na present office equipment ediama disable fuyi afei aban eba beboa Ghana mebunu you start program no so ehu sikasam watrese aye ready na the new crusading guide enim hanso eye kokobo a national security edema adese wo atifi epayment wonum se wo munya careful nipa bonefo nya wo be free wonum awura afei Professor Amia Wakumfi and Wakatre MPP Amanyoko ni Mase abatu a womu kwa akotuwe edru national tema no a womu ntomano na Obama S Gracia edi ama MPP executives ya womu bekwa ahumtie mu nyina afe pantan asase no a eda ho no pantan asase no a eda ho no sa pantan asase no womu trese enkofuo bi akwasiu obi a ye frɛ ne sɛ terekoni na saa terekoni no wo mu teso wono na trasa koni ade nyina ya ne dia na ekuo bi nso akwasiu terekoni sɛ kwan a wo fa so a wɔtɔ wagye asase a ɛwɔ pantan wonom no anya kwan pa so enti wo wura bi a ye frɛ ne sɛ mami hwɛ di no Tere Company Ghana Limited. And woman trasa pantai asase no anya terekoni dia you woman dia enti se ebasa kodi terekoni ni wanu mu a adaba se 600 dia esisi wanu mu nyina terekoni kwa puni nyina tuogu na waje asase no esanso wa chese wanu mum na ye ne dia afei Papa Kufuor ewa hanum se ya wo katre Dr. Okoboy wasimi shira ukọ na kwaye adwuma urade nka ho na nkunimdie anya wo dia ekọ wasimpanimfo besie mu wa hade nanso wo mantumi amfa sansin bia anto baabi a wo ma yeku no so emomo omo katre West Africa fo se ade a ye frɛ ni se ku anya no na ye solution a ye betumi di atetere man Ghanaian observer ni muhanso His Excellency the Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mohammed Bawumia na wakase wasuwa munyini wamuwe na local levels no impuntu enkoho Zoom Lion na World Environmental Day womukatina adisi nyina ase yanya careful yɛatena ya yɛteɛ no na yɛndi wɔ no mu ni papa kofoɔ kasa tere wo kɔbɔi ɛwɔ appointment a yɛde ama no wɔkɔ ne nkyɛn kɔgye na futuo afei green gano student bi a obɛduadua baako ɛyɛ one student 13 initiative o enti mu nyinaa munnua nnua ne bi Alex Agbafia ɛda anim ha wɔne nana wɔyɛ lita ɛne wɔn drag yɛ ɛde kɔ police ɛwɔ identity bi a wɔn tɛ sɛ nkɔfoɔ area MPP guru bi te sɛ Kwesi Awon ɛne wɔtɛ sɛ one district one factory ne deɛ ɛyɛ ade papa enti wɔbɔ ononyafo Alan Kojo Kyerɛmanten aba so sɛ wɔayɛ adeɛ one district one factory ɛno na ɛbɛtumi etu wɔ Mayempɔn afei adesuani bi abɛduadua baako one student 13 wɔn apa ho ntoma ɛwɔ ha Dewbokrata informer ɛka ho asɛm Tehara Dewbokrata no nso wɔde aba no wɔkyɛ sɛ mampanin na n'adeda nkɔ Akufo-Addo ɛne ne nkɔɔfoɔ ɛtetɛtare no ho ɛne wɔn apɔkɛtie yi ɛyɛ 32 million Ghana cedis ɛyi wɔ man sika ɛna wɔn ama ne nkwanta wɔn kyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ seed money ya wɔn de ma controversial national cathedral project no 32 million Ghana cedis ɛne wɔn atamade akɔhyɛ mu a Dewbokrata kyɛ sɛ saa adeɛ no deɛ mampanin ɛne ne chronics no wɔn anya adeɛ national security o ɛne wɔn kakyere garu ɛna bumpurugu sɛ nipa bi tete mmepɔ mu wɔ hɔnom a wɔn nya bɔne a wɔn bɛdie enti wɔn mu wɔn ani ɛna hɔ afei DPP no wɔkyɛsie opuni ne key witness no wɔ ɛbrɛ a wɔbɛgyina akɔɔto adakoma ebisabisa n'asɛm no ɛne wɔso wɔ kɔ wɔ asiri mu akɔdwo nso ɛne wɔn di n'akyi kɔ wɔ asiri mu hɔnom a Dewbokrata yɛde ho asɛm ɛde aba na the find anim hɔ nso wɔkɔ bɔi korɔ no a ɛna NHIS pani a wɔda no papa kofoɔ etu no fo ɛsa ama no adwenkyerɛ sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a obetumi ama nsakraeɛ aba hɔ one student 13 initiative adesuani bi abɛduadua baako ɛno nso ɛyɛ ade a wɔman ne di sika asɛm ya efiada ɛyɛ 20 million trees ɛne yɛba abɛdua wɔ Ghana ha na wɔfaeɛ a wonya wɔ mu a aya no webisa wɔ nim sɛ saa nnua 20 million ne sika sɛn ɛne yɛde tɔɔ na afei atwa mu no yɛde sika sɛn na tɔɔ nnua no sɛn ɛna etumi nyini yɛ sɛn nso na ewuiɛ aya no webisa wɔ mu ama me Republic Bank yo wenya prestigious international awards mienu enti wɔde ne ho asɛm aba sɛ abasobɔde a wɔn akɔgye nie na graphic anim ha ɛna wɔte sɛ yɛba bɛ print textbooks no ɛwɔ Ghana ha ɛyɛ yɛne ayɛ local manufacturers ya printers bi te sɛ G Park Limited wɔn ɛyɛ graphic communication group limited nkorabata ne bia Bulk Press Appointed Time Printing Limited AK Industries Limited ɛna Sec Print Limited wɔn nyinaa obiara bɛ print bi fɛfɛɛfɛ obiara bɛ print bi kama wɔde Ghana ha ya ɛne yɛyɛ adeɛ public sector workers yo ɛne yɛsi etua wɔnom kama na aboro so aban akontabufoɔ na ɛka yɛba abɛdua nnua enti obiara mfa ne ho nyimbe mampanin na n'adeda nkɔ Akufo-Addo ɛne wɔka kyerɛ kɔwasefoɔ sɛ adeɛ betumi aboa yɛn ɛyɛ democracy ɛnyɛ military rule afei daily statement no anim hɔ na wɔte sɛ Sunyane airport no ayɛ ready yɛkɔ akɔpa ho ntoma na ewiemuhyɛn akɔsi wɔ Probia Asante Kɔtɔkɔhene yɛsi yɛde asase bi ama no bɛsɛ 400 acres na saa 400 acres no ɛna wɔse NDC foɔ bi kyerɛ sɛ saa asase na ɛde ma Probia Asante Kɔtɔkɔhene no wɔn wɔ ho asɛm ka Central Regional MPP Amanyɔkɔ kɔto aba ɛkɔyi regional executives nso Tema Kutin ɔkɔsoa edi nkonim a esibu ɛntumi no ɛna Alfred Thompson ɔno nso ɛntumi no ɛna secretary no nso Techimensen wɔsan edi nkonim afei Dr. Osaya wɔde to Minister of Education ɛna wɔsi no guarantee ɛma student loan policy a foforo ya a wɔn de bɛyi unhia guarantee bi ɛno ane sɛ wokɔ ya no akɔ akɔgye wo sika Wasadi about Telegide anymore. Rashid Pepu nimfoni dada and was NDC amanyoku pet asasi ayedi amakrobi asantoko tokohine otumfo se tutuno Professor Miyokumfi and wakatre MPP executives yabesum nyina se so omo kwa obema wonum S Gracia no omo de akwa akwaje wo mahome right apia ya Child Right International epeni a wadano owura bi na beto dwa so wode ne baba akwa akwaje sikaduro ena nipa na woye sikaduro no fra posifo ena wo mu beti wowura no ena ne ba no nso wo mu di nanim baaye na no na bright apia tresa akwada no aye di nanim baaye no anya kura ya anya ade ena elefo na ebe host we made in Africa lottery seminar for the ho asem about the bokata daily guide enim na Campon Travel and Tours ena yesi wo mu nso na anya package ya wode nkofo abekọ kata na wo mu akọ World Cup ni bi daily dispatch enim ho anso aye MPP national officer bi ena or reply Dr. Amuakoba na wakatire Dr. Amuakoba say ebra Dr. Bawumia running May 2008 2012 wode kono na ono Dr. Amuakoba no wo he enti eduru no so a wo mu mfama no Dr. Amuakoba where have you been since 2008 when Dr. Bawumia first became the running mate? Yeah, what can be attre no. Dr. John Kuma and what as a national cathedral no wa kontabuo, womubebu no fentem at the atraman sign. Ya de baka Oliver Vamawo, kwa kujira kotu, ni kwa bonu kwetu. Na nian times ya ni muhanso, na mpeni na nado dan kwa kufuado. And war has sent common the sanctions be at the betu womua ayeku etu abaye guno nanso saa sanctions no ama na mom wasre se ade ayeku ku de ewiase nyina empe right apia si yenyai se ye security akoda ne video a ye to pete amansa nyina anim so mu nso akoda ne nie enya de papa eyasa akoda no yebekọ sifie and panic e de amano national security for bokoko galu bumprugu armed forces ni aposifo ewo monam ho so na nipa bonifo bi eba the chronic democrat anu anim ha probia sante kotoko hene 400-acre lands NDC fo bi kire se omu ani nje asase no a yede amakrobia sante kotoko hene na ye hwan no mo a afei womu ayeku no enya no na ye solution okoboy ana wokosra papa kofo ewo pedua se wa bra na wotene fie ya wodwedwe no ho ofa de bokrata no de a wode baaye no eno na mabrobro so
de yin to akoma so pa
ofa ayi I was say ye did in come a bit to say one student, one tree say. And one some ye bebre.
Say ya forestation, ya.
One some ye bebre.
Well, the environmental day, no. At the end, ye found. Strong. The environment, no. A dear pan, ye. Strong. I just said, ne, said ye, a year rubber. A rubber, yeah. Ma yenye interview imra ne ba sa environmental issues no ebi o hopa wose yeka so na ensamo a national security at the airbay ana yene owura Emmanuel Kutin or executive director Africa Center for Counter Terrorism na yene no enim komo kakra na yehu de ono so de bebre. Mr. Kutin, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon to your cherished listeners.
Na oho te san nie.
Nyankopon adoma de acheme.
Yo, yanso so no boni bia eni ha sei. Ana egusu aja. Ya dwendwene ye ho. Na national security and sensem ya wo mo de kokobo e de ma police. Wo mo de kokobo e de ma Ghana Armed Forces. ɛno mu bi ɛne sɛ yɛde ɛdwendwene sɛdeɛ yɛbɛsi afa de akorɔ na ma yɛnhwɛ saa adeɛ yi ɔse Ministry of National Security ɛyɛ June 3 2022 ɛna ɔse suspicious movement of persons in the Garu and the Bungurugu Nampang Duri districts. And also suspicious movement of persons in the Garu and Bungurugu Nampang Duri districts. Intelligence gathered indicates suspicious movement of a group of persons along a mountainous area that borders Bungurugu Nampang Duri district in the northeast region and Garu district in the upper east region. 2. That the group was reportedly sighted aboard motorbikes dressed in the apparels that hid their faces and headed for the mountainous area in the Garu district. Your attention is drawn to the aforementioned movement for urgent attention. Regards. And National Security Coordinator Nasign, and Odibi Akwakoma, Chief of Defense Staff, Ghana Armed Forces, and Odibi Akwakoma, Inspector General Police. General public, what are we to make of this?
ADAKABRI, once again, I'm in chair at TFO. In the security arena, it's a very worrying situation. Under normal circumstances, this is supposed to be a classified information meant for specific unit consumption. But in this country, ADAKABRI, I think that we do too much security. And I'm happy you are a lawyer. You know the legal implication of leaking classified information, both the person leaking it and the person consuming it. Actually, a few days ago, my attention was drawn to it because I saw it at a friend's Facebook. And I privately called him and told him to pull it down. He didn't even understand the implication of posting such a classified information. So it boils down to education. The crux of the issue is that as a country, if we don't move away from regime security to national security, these are the kind of challenges we face every now and then. And it brings a lot of questions into perspective. One, given the times we are living in Kenya, is it out of place for the National Security Coordinator to call the head of intelligence and the police, the CID? You know, the military also have their own department for intelligence gathering, the DI. It was addressed to the CGS and Inspector General of Police because they are the head of this institution. But the final destination for the consumption of this information will be the respective intelligence units of these sectors. Was it out of place to invite these people to a closed door? Given what has happened in the past over leakage of classified information, it's not the first time it has happened. So you realize that we are not sitting properly as far as our national security establishment is concerned. And I think we don't have to play with security. There have been a lot of fiascos, a lot of mistakes, one too many. National security keeps making. If you read the content, just for the fact that I made a statement that the person who leaked the classified information is as guilty as those consuming it. And it's not proper that we discuss them the public domain. It has a lot of security implications. If you look at the content of the letter, you realize that there's a lot of flaws in it. Bunduri is not in the Upper East region, for Christ's sake. That is in the Northeast. So how could such a primary mistake be made? How was that intelligence gathered? What I say? So it creates some sort of panic. Just imagine that at that time they were adoring ambassadors for anti-terrorism in this country. Where in the world have we heard about this? It's a complete joke. And I think that national security must call its house to order. Because we learn from...
It's such a classified information emanating from the National Security Coordinator at the Ministry of National Security through the CDF and Inspector IGP.
So that is what I'm saying. We are not sitting properly. The conduit of this message being passed is problematic. Did they have established procedure as to how this information is passed on? If there's an established procedure, they'll be able to trace who leaked it. Until such procedures are put in place, you wouldn't know. You remember Snowden in the U.S., that defense contractor, or very sensitive information about the U.S. intelligence gathering around the world. What happened to him? So what has national security done?
You should be view.
Show us as a country.
Mr. Kutin, Obudu says, I will share the topographical description of the area. Any geographical description. One, Yatia wants a Nankpanduri, any Bungurugu, our northeast region, and Garu, and so our upper east region. Na, we share the topography noa, Nankpanduri, Oben, Bungurugu, ana, Bipobi war area, wana. Na, what say they are headed for the mountainous area in Garu. Garu, no Bipobi war, wana.
There's no any mountainous. If you know Garu very well, what is the mountainous region in Garu? Where is it? It means that to start off, this is not a credible intelligence. But intelligence gathering is allowed. It is allowed. Ubetimanya 100 intelligence, one pen right, and that one can eliminate the entire criminal cell. But that's notwithstanding. These are just avoidable mistakes that should not even come from the ministry. Just imagine that information is passed to you. You process the information. You look at the credibility of it before you pass it on to the agencies that are to consume same. So what due diligence was done in this regard? Apparently nothing. That is why I'm saying we are joking with security at ADAKABRI. We must, as a matter of agency, as a country, begin to ask ourselves very hard questions and open the avenue for serious conversation as to moving away from regime security to national security. Look at the FBI.
We will come. You better find out the difference between what is regime security and what is national security. You better find out. But before then, yet then a national security head or more a letterhead, and yet me this signature etoso na yes I we say
Apparently, the National Security Coordinator who is passing information to the units mentioned. So obviously, it should come at that conduit. It should be on the national security letterhead. That makes it credible. But the challenge is how did that leak? And I mean, person mainstream media so can grab ADAKABRI, the flight. two wrongs do not make a right. Meboa. So if someone have done a mischief by leaking a classified document, I think the media, with the kind of training in security reportage, media will know. Okay, yes, so to discuss it because of the love of our country. Because when we do this, we are taking off any alleged cells of terrorists anywhere planning to attack the country. And when we say security, it will not discriminate saying we are red and also we are black and also we are white. What is the amateur? There's fair numbers media. Meaning social media is a problem. And we have to find means of curtailing these things. If it was in an advanced democracy like the US, by now they would have established who leaked it. And any media houses that was in a position, knowingly or unknowingly, reporting on same would have been sanctioned. I won't see CNN or CBS and then BBC reporting on a leaked classified information, unless, of course, there's some human rights abuse dimension to it. Like Snowden leaking, once it came in the form of a website, WikiLeaks, and then it became a worrying situation. That was when the media came in. Mr. Say, national security should engage all the media houses by way of sensitization and education on how to report on critical security matters. It will help us as a country. Look at what happened in Nigeria. And
Nigeria, so, but you're dealing with the issue of misinformation. You bit me as destabilize or mine intended to be you bit me as subjugated Ghanaians and as citizens. Somewhere in the was it May 14 thereabout? There is a video. On your Facebook Live. I will need FM. Now in that video, no. In fact, I started running. We be some crowd motorcycles, so and I say one more ever. And then there's a commentary alongside the microphone of motorcycles. So no. It as at May 14, and away by a commentary, of which yam per se, sa commentary, and nam certain no maybe your car, it borders on certain religion, yent me more. But then, Nini naturally say, sa nipa na titi motorcycles, so no, womu Boko Haram fwa, or ma bedu Togo, Northern Togo, and omo headed towards Shreponi, into yam fanto platform, so Emma Obi Hunu, into Sanipe, social video, yeah, disinformation intended to disrupt and now destabilize or minor. How are we supposed to handle it? And now a new media back, did that platform swing.
Okay, said Rwanda. It was the same misinformation on the radio net Basa genocide by. You see, the video you are making reference to, it was not anywhere even near Togo. So how the person came by that video, the motive of the person, put it on social media. I was expecting that by this time, our security agencies should have been able to track down the person who first did that propaganda on a video that had no relevance whatsoever to the sub-region. But has our security agencies been able to do that? No. So once they have not been able to do that, to set people like that as examples, many people would nest that ambition of doing that in the future. Because somebody has done that, nothing happened to the person. And you see, in this country, we are so much particular about sensational reportage. And social media, people want people viewing their content, liking their content, and things like that.
It is from May 14, no? Then in May 19 thereabout, and this is the news. I say,
Exactly.
some unknown armed men have stormed the Atuba market in the Binturi district of the Upper East region. FreeNews.com has gathered. The incident happened on Tuesday, May 17. The men wielding weapons fired into the air and burnt goods of visiting market women from Boku, reports say. So the May 14 thereabout, there's this video here, you show on Facebook Live here, and Grofotity motorcycle, so you see Omkute through Akatakata Omenimino. Then 3-4 days later, reports as to say Atuba market, Ewa Binduri, and also Yakwako to and then next to come, a national security letter here. Do we know in exact what is happening pertaining to terrorism and national security?
They are covered regions, especially when it comes to terrorism. It's not mostly in the open but I can assure the nation that the military intelligence unit and the police intelligence unit, national security, they are on the ground. The challenge facing us as a country is the management of such information. We have two videos I will reference to. They were not related. One happened in real life. It was the chieftaincy issue in Boko. So it boils down to what? Engagement. There was civil society organizations, that are sitting down doing nothing. Why can the government engage this civil society organization to help in the education and sensitization of people in border regions of our country? Why can government engage public relations organizations to organize training programs for our journalists? I'm rather interested in appointing people as ambassadors for anti-terrorism. That is the joke I've heard for a very long time in the fight against terrorism. Because there's no example of such anywhere in the world. And the people who have even agreed to be ambassadors of this noble program, they are putting themselves and their family in harm's way. If there were terrorists in this country, they would have been planning to attack these individuals. And I will urge such individuals, in the interest of their personal security, to decline such office. And I will urge national security and government by extension as a matter of agency to engage civil society organizations. Because when you have good policies and given how charged the country is politically, that is why we have to move away from regime security and look at national security. If we don't move away from regime security in pursuit of national security, we will bring very beautiful programs.
It is regime security, no? Regime security, no? Retreat. What's the idea?
Regime security, so to speak, is about a government in power, and the security apparatus of the nation kind of have so much allegiance to the sustenance of the government or the party in power and not the country. So, many of the security agencies, they turn to the government in power because that's how they can get their promotion. So, your barracks is here. It's an open secret. Our security agencies are divided from NDC and PP. Promotions are done in that order. Why should that be the case? Look at FBI. Look at MI5. If you are the head of the FBI, there's a change of government, you don't necessarily lose your job. But in this country, when there's a change of government, the CDS goes, the Inspector General of Police goes, the Coordinator for National Security goes. So every gain they have made is swept under the carpet. They begin afresh again. There's no historical antecedent that you can look at. And that is the crunch of our security challenges as a country. ADAKABRI.
Enti when yina emu no, how do we move away from regime security to national security?
It's about giving independence to our security institutions and going by constitutional reforms to see how the governing board of these security agencies are conducted. We don't need to change an IGP or a CDS or a National Security Coordinator because there's change of government. We don't need to. If we really want to come together as a country and get our security acts right to fight any external threat, we have to go by way of reforms in these security institutions independent.
Okay. Edia na yede besi ase na yagusu ahwehwe se eye nyina ho beto. Now, is there any direct link between what is happening in Nigeria? Say men in arms ebeko Catholic Church akwa akototo etuodiabo enipa bi. Is it something that could be closer to yen ye Ghana ha say ya na?
There's almost say Onya what you say so I also show the bam there. Okay, I said last month, national security trial and my intelligence to changes. It was a classified one. So the mobile bomb to forestall occurrences of this nature. But unfortunately, that was also linked. This is the beef. Who share decisions that give rise to these acts? Around separating that. Those conditions are present with us. And you see these terrorists, they don't cross the borders wielding guns and weapons or explosives. No. They come into the country, form cells, and those cells inoculate. They look for materials and whatever to make the explosives in the country. More often than not, they even recruit citizens.
In the absence
I am sure say
absence of these terrorists. Okay.
Landed on this point now. So more or less, the intelligence the national security was given to our churches. Probably it was intelligence shared within the ECOWAS bloc. So not about all more a church mobile. Basic security things like CCTV cameras in our churches, when you have people watching it 24/7 within a specific radius, having metal detectors at the entrance of our churches. This could have forestalled what happened in Nigeria. So we have to take our security, especially our religious institutions, serious, both Christians and Muslims. And oftentimes we leave the traditional aspect. We need to engage the traditionalists as well, because everyone is at risk.
Anti terrorist actions, yeah, especially in Nigeria, other places in the sub-region. Does it have any bearing as to who takes over from Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as to who becomes the next president of Ghana? Does it have any bearing on who becomes president?
As for security, it has no bearing on who becomes the president or not. The terrorists have their target and they have the message they want to send. But what I've realized that when to election period, that is when the intensity of these activities of terrorists takes place. Because they are trying to gain attention and send a particular message. So to me, it has no bearing on who becomes the president. ADAKABRI, are you telling me that if you are the president today, the terrorist activities happening around us? No.
Yampansi ase for now. Sakutin, yede wase pa.
That's it.
Right. Emmanuel Kutin, Executive Director, Africa Center for Counter-Terrorism. And on Facebook Live, Master P, and Odiaba. Also, good afternoon, ADAKABRI. Watching my Manti show inside London with Antiama Lucy, Mama Lou in Camberwell, Augustina Baden, aka Mama Rama in Oaken Road. Wisdom Nana Ajay, aka Kanana and Kanana and Anja Kosia Kwedu Amuakum, aka Sister, both inside Coventry and Nana Slide inside Walthamstow. ADAKABRI, the tree planting exercise is a good initiative, so it should be taken seriously. ADAKABRI kindly wish Mrs. Gladys Pebby, aka Auntie Gladys in Wandsworth, Southwest London, a glorious happy birthday for me, Mr. George Pebby, Derek, Yvonne, and the rest of the family celebrate you today, Mama Gladys, and Odiaba. Nana Kwasia Piasechi, and on the Odonkwa. Lilian Akosia Bediakum, also we are fed up. Why? And a star boy, also watching you live and clear at Ahafu Mem Airport. Hey! Mem Airport, the star boy, Wakoka Kachi Kofi Mensa, and a Kwam father. Sammy Chia Womo Papa, the Kacha Salasso, Sammy Chiano Pa, Watiana, Mem Airport. Bema was said to Tuneka saying, Utumfo convener of Crossfire Ghana. So who are those supporting the building of the cathedral? Some promises, God and you want us to support it. Cathedral over flat. And what they buy, Prince Amedike, also this happened since 2015. And I was here, Professor ADAKABRI, watching you live from New York City, USA. And or they buy, Abefe Banale Listowell. Watching you live from Antoine Adesana, and to Antoine Adesana, now call Crobo, now call a brim. Aha, who content so the annex say, what they call a Sakra would know. Joseph Echan, NDC should not dare poke their nose on the Otumfuo lands policy. And or the other. Go on Facebook Live, now yen and somewhere hormono, now yentimiko. Still to come, now what's it Pepper Ben and no come, I'll come by someone.
Of a daily dispatch.
Now, because was it daily despite?
Of any abia meme pronunciation.
And the minimum said despite what newspaper. A daily despite. Daily despite. What did the baby you know? And I did newspaper to daily despite.
No, grandma,
why you, mamma? And the other day, a daily despite, and I can come into
daily despite. Abusiafo ayi daily despite and nimu hanum say no. Kratafa tosumi no. Ana ode aba no wokyere say MPP amanyoko no mupani bi ewom. But one shutdown fa ipakrodin eno ane so say National Executive Officer New Patriotic Party name withheld and with a bracket to honum the town
and can be him or no see name withheld Nipakura and Castle also Papi Padma Dr. Maguba in a senior family Dr. Maguba our continent be a boat a
park on Dokun
Dr. Maguba Yamu hey doc now what is saying you now would dear the buy ya Wabatna Kwasiabu Ajenimua over can say Dr. Mamad Baumia on your true blue.
The Pajama and Yanocre.
Dear Trubasa will see Dr. Mamad Baumia on your true blue and Yanocre.
True blue coming Canada.
Now, I did not Cafano.
Oh, Who did the Anaka and key stations, especially more question. Who said tree and young John paper? And can they all there and so be a better you better reporter, report to recording more kind. And when they all translate the couple of one letters as seminar step. That is what happened. Sure.
Again, I can't brofum.
Oh, baby. Samba Kupesa. So, Mammy, explain too. What I make us say, situation you are said between the devil and the wizard. That station I contract to say, maybe say situation between Chino Kano, or say, Tatabon Samni, Bamboo. And I'm a canon.
A transliteration.
That's what I make kind of say. I will be a madam for the Dino. What I say, a foot. The foot to the Utua. Your pen offer. The person of the thinking. Make us say, happy people no party, no, I have a leadership with it. And the assembly of Quan, no other cosa. Oh, my executive say, no, movie some to me at the Opera. And Ukrainian, yes, they are would to me, I win. I just am back to me at the Opera because they are trouble him. About your talk. So, a party there, Ukrainian theatre, a go on,
Yantua, but the Tabano.
Your Tabano, Ukrainian woman, your talk.
I just a part no guanisa.
The go on, because who to me, what you have done one way. If you are not what two just said, this will be a contest John Bobby because who was 2 times. Oh, who was better. And it just always can one. Now, I can scatter about pattern between Alan Jamate and neighbor we are supported. The starting at check. Who can say more call the year no honor at the end of that? We hear the kind of that. The better party yet Marco face 2024. Within the party now, bitterness about it. And it is a quiet buffer, the Bema as you jump from yourself. And I may say, if you are to say no, but we are on your permit to say, others not person running. Lecture Martin, so many others.
Also free Akoto.
Aha. Anti-Boati and Jacosco. It was okay. Sandy on your own. And now, division and parties, they between other supporters, any or no, but we are supported. It is about we are free movement just as we have. I'm sure I'm okay. Sandia, the Cabaya, the Yaba Falls, who may a party friends, a chairman grant to me my order, the answer. Advice. The Bay, Cabamia, on you who bring this time around. On step one side. When you step one side, a pet, that's with the upper party. No, on go around the whole country. No party no more. On party no more. No one yet a pet. It is one of a hero of the party. One of our party level. The party never win, we knew. One of a hero. We are 4 years later. The party crown some. The crown some. We are from crown prince. Because all our party. Now, Mr. Capon said, the CIA will be a post at Chester. They are 2 of us to see and come out, Nanama, and another on winning. So, on winning, and that is something we are winning. So, why would you want to go now? If you say, all step aside, it still makes sense. Now, 4 years later, why rehabilitate yourself? Whatever anger and one problem, won't take off. Must be what's happening. That's why I'm a guy. Hey, somebody. In my example, say, who you were, Obama name is creating no money here. Initial name is creating the deal. And Obama budget 5. We know Mr. Biden, Vice President. And I'm going 4 years, 8 years. 8 years, no. Only Mr. Biden's about a dream is rule. Because somehow Obama running against Mr. President. There were other people. It was step aside. Other people with the chance to run on their own. It's a scriptures are going one winning, and I feel Biden back. And one winning. Now, so I've been America. The one that's a party behind him, a party behind him. There's a Nipana woman on Bazon running on Kwana, and you don't pay.
It is a dear who came dear. Not just say, suggestion, nobody son said Dr. Baumia should bite his time for the next 4 years simply on the basis say age you are nothing.
Yes. And not only that, this time around, you said, Ukrainians are not very unpopular. Those who are vice president, won't you mean because I want to be popular? Vice president, go on ahead, unpopular. And yes, I think the Abana now, you are the better also.
Oh, na ko collective responsibility.
Exactly. Also, the one minister, we are vice president. Minimum to say, but me I vice president. To me, I was all about it. No.
It is a wood, yes, yes, sir. Sabaumia, yeah, to me, or yeah, vice president, to me, I was here the Manina and farm and there. Then is it not logical for Baumia and his supporters to suggest to say, if Baumia comes on his own, then he will be able to do better than he has done so now on the basis he am to me, whatever year Juma at deliver no, young farmer no.
But you see, now, after later now, that is how we can do one of them. They have a man out you want.
Oh,
I don't know why we done. Nothing now yet.
But Ghanaian constitution, no, a dear very specific job, and our dema vice president, so on.
Oh, yeah, head of economic committee on head.
Technically, a convention, constitution, and council, or no, any head of economic management team, and no, dear, any other person other than the vice president can be. But in terms,
maybe I automatic vice president in charge.
We are very sure about that.
They're starting, you know, who say senior minister now, no, mostly what is happening. So, no crane. The meaning of the details, no. I want to be you won't feel that. Then another year, there's a white yasso. Now, they say, somebody else don't come. Unless your friends don't win Bonia. He now can't have to watch Kaka. Then my crown prince, and they are better. And then I want to see. I mean, I didn't go on because there are some powers that be on per se or between.
I just and na crown prince, what does it entail?
Just a wood, just say, you are doing that. Just over here,
and to just
not only that,
and next to lead.
Yes.
Just why a potential leader.
Yes, but without contesting anything, what be leader? But we know what come around, what partner. There are more teachers, big tenants and what party we don't know. I'm going to move over and I'm and it's here. No, I'm going to hear the
enemy. Median coming, move on. But there are elements who are insisting, say, Dr. Makuba, the Constitution of Ghana has not said anywhere that the vice president is the head of the economic management team, unless you can cite the requisite provision. You know?
And on one side, they got you say, time you are who are tradition. Now you once, we are twice, we are 3 times. It can become expected to say only example.
So are you in a
no names about the head of the community?
But the point still remains, are you suggesting, say, a convention, or are you saying it is a constitutional provision?
It's up to him. I am not answering that question.
Because the woman say, Aliu Mahama, the late Aliu, wasn't the head of the economic management team. Mahama, John Mahama was not the head of the economic management team.
What is that got to do with what we are talking about?
As my crown prince, I've also told the economic management.
Yes, sir. That's all.
Some time back, this amendment was proposed, but it was not accepted. Senka, sitting vice president, and says Yema or no, or back into the flag bearership. I was say Okotne Fie for 4 years, and thereafter Nanka Waba. And as our amendment, Omo Anye Anfa Antumu. Are you in support of that amendment, Anna?
Oh, I don't mean cancer because we are done. Why an official? Who the constitutional unconstitutional?
Because okay, let me read it to you. That I say in 2009, when we considered the constitutional amendment, we had a mind to include a provision that will prevent a sitting vice president to contest in the primaries immediately subsequent to the end of the term of the president. The vice would be required to wait for the elapse of 1 term before contesting in his own right. The idea was that ministers are not required to step down if they wish to contest, but the party cannot require a sitting vice president to do so unless he so chooses to step down. This is because the mandate he enjoys as a result of having been elected on the ticket of the president is a national mandate that goes beyond the MPP. Therefore, in fairness to those who have had to step down, the vice cannot be in the immediate contest. If it had been accepted, it would have meant that Bawumia will have to go with Nana Akufo-Addo and can only make another appearance in 2028. This idea did not see the light of day because people thought some of us were afraid of Aliu in the contest and therefore shut us up. Well, it is up with us here again. This is a suggestion way back in 2009. Then Kensasiama Vice President, immediately after the end of the term with the president, or contested, no one can 4 years and Sanwaba. Do you associate yourself with such a suggestion?
There be an unconstitutional, you can't do that. The constitution says, Obia to me, and can say excluding the vice president. Who have a party in Koya, who constitutional, and go against the constitution of Ghana, and they are unconstitutional. They are not there. And you're suggesting if he decides to do that, and that's a no.
Now, when you say, Bia Bawumia no, Oshemu from 2008, from 2000, Sunyan was 1998. Time Bia Noa as a MPP Bayi flag bearer no, na Oma yi potential flag bearer. So in 1998, Yeyi John Kufuano, potential flag bearer was Nana Akufo-Addo. Enunti and 2007 or say ye nimi fritete an event omode ema no inti Chiramatin so and na contested 3 times. Enunti at the time ye Nana Akufo-Addo 2007 no na Chiramatin no ala no ababe potential leader inti se nei no se Bawumia ne ala no kwa and se BBS no kwan okọ na se the obe place second to the obe win no, then the person becomes a potential leader. What do you make of that?
Oh, that was I saw maybe but there's another side. Here Kenya there's a show. Another call 1 term. We'll lose 2 terms. We'll lose, that's 8 years. 3 terms, that's 12 years. Then they come in 4 years, that's 16 years. Then we want to go another time. Look, so if any political party for 16 to 20 years, that is effectively party go.
And Chitomuminu has been at the helm for the past 16 years then.
Yes. They've been in the forefront for too long. The party, party go. And this is exactly what has happened. Because they've been in the forefront for so long, and they say, oh, discover not who can some view? How do you manage such a party? And I hear the idea. That is the truth that is going on. So Bianca, so look, for myself, the reason why I worked so hard, then go for you again, and I went to the within the opponents of what party. I went to them that day. And then one person back, opponents in there. That's the Muslim. The Quabia Befasu or Bewuni. That's what we did. But maybe there may convention mistake. Nana do not need Nana do not cut down and near to a man. No, yes, on the can. Yet to my JB Dankwa. The one for what JB Danka was never able to do. Maybe his nephew will do it. That was the hope. Okay, I said that was the hope. And in years on Guadina and Cover to Abaman. And so to say, the custom convincing. I guess a partner has been hijacked. So, my to Ababa, my own quality decide everything. That's not how you run a party. How many executives can we have? Our Mungwane cancer mapper.
Hey. Inti won't me and stand the spectacle of 16 years, 8 years as running mate, 8 years as vice president, a further 8 years as president. Won't me stand it.
Partner group effectively a group. That's what happened.
There's an economic messiah, and the Ghanaians have economic question.
Economics in the team. If I told any team, among also. A call who chose this year, or that a baby who was cash on pass. Here now, composed. Who come bank every month. On my banner, who team now, who team bank, wait to my age. How does that supposed to work? If I give you the economic indicators, there's no doubt we are in big trouble. What I say, we are in big trouble. No one say, yeah, finance minister. And my cousin was here, friend, minister for loans and collateral.
Minister for the
loans and collateral. No one say he knows all the tricks in the books. That's it. When it comes to finance, he knows all the tricks. I don't know what you might chroma baby you like. So you can talk from my check. He knows all the tricks. And the one that makes of his officer to know from me down. And that's me down here to only my daddy now. Unyeska. That's what it is.
What's it, Minister for Loans and Tricks?
Collateral.
Minister for Loans and Collateral. No one was a transaction advisor. Dr. Marco Papa. Now, MPP, a conservative party, center of the right party with the men. And then I reduce it to this level.
And some of those, starting just there. We have property via our problems. Now, said that now the Suban was very bitter division. And then you want to attack one day. So where no Ukraine or winning and say so the cap party na boom. I don't know just say Nipa and John who know the same. So we need elections here. People pay across the country. What you want to position on basic. No parents tell me that. But they never got that chance.
But what people say, is it history? And they repeating one because Kufuor's second term was January 2005. And just 6 months into Kufuor's second term, and almost a year, you knew fritity, and the narrative underneath was that Kufuor and share party for anunti true blue pane a Kufuor ya warbe. Into they should keep faith with a Kufuor. Na ontimi Emra Mesha party into on the eve of 2007 elections, Ukraino. Omunina Koshia Kwame P and Infie, Emma Koba said. Akufuado na behwe party nintino omunyina ka omunyem emfama Akufuado a chese onokra na ye prediama na only the last person to enter a year Kwame Pianim fie honom and see the man na so person kire say on hwe party for it na history na repeat no ana
oh party for the the Ukraine they have been very bitter ni na aka hu na omani abisa no they say no the election bar let's just say harvest time for delegates. What I say? Because that is the chance of no continue. But when you saw tomorrow, we are all no cry. And look, also by Genesis, they are campaign of Cambodia, and I do many of them who may Central Western region for the because after that, I have to be a pescabra scanning here.
What was it say?
Pescabra scanning here.
Again, yeah, come as the one to Pescabra. Come as the yacha.
Pescabra.
And then I call you Obian Nafu, and we discover no to the amount or you party no.
Papa, I won't press all body or 12 when we are no chapter or the bachelor margin.
But this kind of or 2 years no aside, I bet you're not better fanakan.
Or did the
or did we necessarily no blame will be your party for?
No, change next time around. And you just say, I hear complete chaos. And then what my idea? Omo was omo ye ni ye no. Omo na ye sade. And yes my ni. But nan ka san timi sisa no. But nan ka san timi enkreni no huye. Iba odi ani mu no, ono odi sika le bai. E na no ko ka se sika ni nya.
Ne sika no ko fa free hefa.
And a good question is all bizarre.
A good question, but this is Busa warm. Because the kind of sika warm with Tietia no.
Pocket money na get you no more than that.
Sir. Hey. And let's just say, Doc, is there an end in sight?
Also say there is an inside, but and yet they I know they won't change because also will initiate change. I want to hear that. Everywhere they go. One. And delegates is also by Genesis. And anything I can dedicate somebody bring who I know, be a perform for GB. Now, she can't about Swagi. And the king. So, last time we are too, a Santon Regional German. Some estimates that Obinia 10,000. Obi 10,000. And Obi 10,000. Or 7, Obi 3,000. And then you have to it's not small money. This is big money. And it tells you, say, and you one person in a plan is adding. And you syndicate. And your group is in a yes adding. The quite be as you know, you'll get the money to pay. No one ever knows. What is that mean?
Hey. And to see some of the whole no. Is it the case to say, Dr. Baumian and Chine, as you suggest, na omra later because you believe, say, a be our discover track on Yanana?
Oh, and then we need to get one bottom. What I say? I can't say. But say, Obi, and bottom, eternity. Then you can do it. Yes, we know how much. To me, American under normal circumstances, they as some kind and in a winner, and a number later. But to say, no, young person, I don't know. Wouldn't you say, no, we need to and a worry. And a tear.
Says, wouldn't you say, now, Unisika, worry.
Worry, I'm telling you, worry, and then you can't send the so you went to our own cousin, a car, 1 week or another starting no Kazaka. I never tell what you think I have man who do an own stand 1 week. That's how
I don't want to say, Chess, wouldn't and I'm hosa, I won't go hoot, wouldn't and I'm hosa. I dear bet me a copy, none was what can see Canada more, no, to do compunch near the actually near to amount.
That is a danger. And Sandy and where then are you? Yes, and you some kind of liquor, and you're near the winning, you're in the end, you're winning. Have a look at the bell, look at the calling to. And it's here.
Took a GD, dear Quanutum.
No one was watching. Why are ready? The thing I said, you're Jane Regional, ever called national. If you are son about Blackberry, and you won't have harvest time, I do about.
Dear can let us a national one at actually.
Me. Oh, make sure I said if it's a cost. Maybe I still make some penalty. If a young sanity was a very miscalculation.
Oh, pass a penalty, open young sanity, and you scan our pageant.
It's sanity. Your mocker, meet your mocker.
Nay, yes, yet it is as you pay your tibia amount.
Oh, there be a TV man, let him and come out.
Oh, just as I see a TV Mawa, Okromo, Kabako, Gazi, a tibia
amount. Oh, Marco, there's no chroma for you. Yes, I do. Something patcho. Me can tell me a cent to you. Me can tell me about the next person. But this is bad. This is corruption on a grand scale. Okay, I did an giant. I want them to do what you have. What you I wasn't surprised when I heard it. Because nobody can catch them say, your friend is only been on something. Maybe I'll be upset. So, they knew what was going on. They come out, then one could register. Was who could fast my boy could register to say, I could hear to what? So, that's what happened. And I didn't, almost like John, I didn't copy it. Obi you come who went up there, and I was, Mecca. I don't know.
And in Mono, Obi say, Word, Dr. Makoba, when you patriotic person, I will pay MPP as something.
Jamaican, Minya Comfort, or no friend for patriotic, a friend of comfort.
Oh, when you're crumful.
Maybe.
Now, all my patriotic, or many are crumful.
Your Nipana workers are only a comfort. Because what we are there was only a patriotic. Intimate so, they say, a batch say, partner here or minor. One of Pessamini.
Is a Ubusa
or minor.
Ubusa say,
mining you are partner in coffee. The Munima.
Oh, so mining you are partner in country.
And coffee.
I'll see a man who hears in your party. No,
yes. And Koyaka. I tell another son and a honey, I just say, no, that's all. On the Kaka. I tell minister, I Now, I go for winning election. Yeah, winning, I said, Obianka, one win, I'm going to
in fact, a branch yakitwe be or Fijase, Asantia Fijase, a friend David Ampem Dako. Na, in fact, or Pepati Nasam Papa. Then I read, and to know me, I ran to one Krayana, or say, dear Mr. President, 25 million cities now, they call National Cathedral, no. 3 times in year, a year, a man or woman school feeding, no. Yentia Womoka. And on my bobos, ya no diana mancolana dear. Na ye san be school be mama sanko de yako. Abra wun tria sa maneka. Na sa 25 million. How would it tria sa maneka and kebebwa? And I was like, wow. David Ampem Dako, and I just said, oh, if you just score it now, or your party nipa, when you impeding the nampa, I'm the National Health Insurance crowd, or your manager, or now, ultimately, ye bold. Across I didn't know Facebook was one. I was a bit I am in one kakra, but I thought you did very well.
Oh, yeah, dear. Then there was a party. The say, Yansani Bakufuchi. Now your priorities at Yasia, and now Nanado I say Namibo at Yasia. Or by an Yamibo no say, no. Or say, we see National Cathedral. Go for Casa, or say, and ya buy a contribution from individual music. And the assembly, no, and look on a mamma for the Jan Watson. That's it, Obaka Finance Minister, the 25 million seed money. Oh, just a young Ukraine, Obaka say. And Yamia, somebody, and Fako, who is someone. So what see? And yet, a bicycle, none of 5 bicycles. They say, I tell a person, stop a soldier, I mean, there was a just what question is honorable. So, let me celebrate. Just say, no, my back. Now, where's our back on the net? A Chimoto, school feeding, cathedral, wine. Are they? No, I mean, no. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what is happening. When people were saying that Chim Mafia, I was fighting, going from house to house, talking to the leaders in Kumasi. Sometimes they go move here, come back on so. It will living room na make that so say your mo yen je or your party member say map Chim Mafia omo dey Ghana for. I was even saying say look, there's some mama can papa when so people say Gabi, what is that come? Oh your lawyer. Then I know to find say attorney general. What is him? Or qualify. More than the money on banker. He and me defend you. Many attack Kennedy. They see anything. They say, I call them family friends. Why? Then you say, then you know come out with you. And I saw me can make from chopping. It's not because they make preposition. Yes, sir. No crane American. Now they don't say, Achia. The young kind of crane, you're another food. Danger never a tough home team to us. Can you imagine a baby about to go focus? Since the gross account 7 months, the Tomoka, who feeding for your there's so many others, contractors. Nadia, no magic people. The memo economic indicators now, you'll be shocked. They say in the whole world, 10 countries in big distress, no Ghana come. And so, you're telling me because
Yate. Look, there was what you know.
The great hope we had in Manado, and that's something to
the great expectation.
Great expectation that was tradition in Nara. Come on, DPH.
In the performance, no, Ubeka say I impacted negatively on the tradition, Anna.
It has because you know said, okay, we never got the chance to experience what Dankwa would have done. At one time, I can say before was the second coming of Dankwa. As I say, no one of us see it. Then she don't know better.
That's one then nana mumuno Dankwa no. It is just Dankwa nana and just say what's the great expectation I day.
Oh, one of the nations said, Kadankwa bed first we see. We didn't experience Dankwa, or name Kromamino, but he never got a chance to show us what he could do. And when Kufuor came, I saw Kufuor. No, Kufuor is the second coming of Dankwa. Because the demon and the Bibia, that's how Dankwa was. Now, say, Dankwa, Nankasa, Banani. Or nobody closer to Dankwa. And as they say, they are being they are closer to him. So I don't know Dankwa. I don't know Dankwa. I don't know him.
When me and redeem Dankwa.
Oh. Went to me. No. There may catch someone to hear Ghana. Mamma cost work today. Mama, we have number one American Dankwa. Oh, trouble for you. Very simple. Who can't what to do? O bet much simple words. So bet pepe as they don't have picture. If you are Monka, Dankwa and Petrol, can be number.
Nature said Dankwa, the ideology of Ghanaianism, no, Anyajuma this time.
Baby, Anyajuma. He wrote about religion, he wrote about history.
A kind traditional religion,
Oh, I really love the man.
And this
campus Africa, you see me two best academics. Meji Dankwa, any Agua of Senegal, or UFND, or anthropologist, or me and
okay, say ube academic. So you describe Dankwa more of an academic, not a politician. It had no academic,
but we are academic. That's why a good politician too. In fact, I don't know because we are academic now. We believe in academic now. We are there. I give you her answer. Why do you go They will convict you. Logic will convict you.
Okay. Enti Dr. Mwakumba, yabaji bre na yanu wadi nkomo na that great expectation, that best yababe ka ho asem. Yes, you was pa. Dr. Mwakumba, MPP ni na o se ya ntena se masi ye ene yekoka ase wo se Dr. Muhammad Bawumia enye true blue. No che se enka wantena nchen for some time. Anka wasan aba. Anka wakwa akoye say peacemaker na aye kwabna
for say woni esi abo age na twetwe nkomo enti ne nkomo twetwe no na bia ebokrata na publishing
no
o publishing no sa ba kwasi de we mbisa no say ebia wo ya asomasi ana so wo ye wo benti ena menyi ni say Dr. Mwakumba anso kan no te say de ebokrata no eka no inti yenye no ye ena anope nso bem se ensase no ho asemu ana ye ka social media so na ntokwa ekoso a se ye dia matters wusu no wofa ne fa bi no bem se me enya ne ye
o kan ne sen
na yesi ye de 641 acres at the amatas wusu no enya sa nete na mom asase no dodo no na yesi ye 641 na ne fa bi ketua bi na yeta
asase ne dawo no kwabna
over
ufre asalebotwe na wo baba bi se omfro Rees Junction eye main Legon Madina route na
okay
ufre asalebotwe baba bi omfro third gate
okay
chess and so make say shop it would do one more pet who say civil aviation for one more dan e wo right wo it is civil aviation for dan kwa kokosi enei baby a clay aye go petrol station and you do civil aviation junction so set of lights is wo ubeko wachi saa de we ya twero no ubeko wachi would con Facebook live or the document na to supposedly asase ase de ama charge so no ubeko wachi ya kwa kodru runabout baako honom udu sa runabout na be turn left who turn left abekwa kwakosi end of it o right no bon say MP for adentan watimi ayeden MP's office honewo wodi ase it is assassin and a down mono. Na a civil aviation for and a John a year a papaco for pencil. Or this assassin at the Maye. Into a Juma na Yade Babayano. Assassino at the ho. Into a cassa achimotans as he whom be no more keke can say and achimotans as intino. For pencil. A year, my may estobin da pa, ebe free so as lance minister. So no, na a year as answer no. One by say, a buying at the Fabi. Necessary aviation for me to call strike a crack on Tokwa, necessary aviation for Swafabi. Na a bushia for no Neo Catabanum, and the West Adenta, Ukataban, the bushia for Nababetra Haseno. Almost free la, a bushiano ho. It may car prices at time. Omu this year back na okuta BMW no okuta tuo no friends a pani and no friend DB kikri sama onukwa obefa hu ewui it is asase no enne okwa ye ecotourism bi omo sisi na kese bi a omo ye tourist attraction baby ankrofo be enne ye TB so de ma abusuafo no enna aban no so TB so faaye eti di aban ne te faaye no eno na 70 by 80 omo tete omo de 55,000
so ofa ma menya fair to so usu ena ora Steven intim yeah ma menya fair to them ora Steven intim ne taso usu na tese enya tese de na edi ehim no na mom 641 assassin no yeah na mom emu a plot into and of I know your one plot
no the 55,000 no 80 by 70
yeah into one plot no na otwadema abrantie
enyo no kwa na etwa ma no etwa bi ma nipa bebre
okay
etwa bi ma nipa bebre it no answer kuta 55,000 na last commission for na wako ukomu de manwa no akwakotua stamp duty no akoye de ese so yi
ba wa father na nipa bebre no taso wusu nko ana wo so ntakrache wo mu
awura fi say na ye friend say achibota unso mo sha ase kwa no unse ho no to hodin Adentan Central Business District sa no mo de to ho no enti ye say ye kope bibi facha so wusu ewo ahenefa Achimota Forest home. And the Yano, and no Sibrekete Bantma Cotia Nim Bonifua, or Titi Lands Commission. Because lease no dosso, I didn't know Bitty Lands Commission, etimi each as Usum Quant yet.
Oh, I
you my quum, no more yes, I want to know. I assassinate Cassia, ye chair Mabusia for a minute, Papa, Mabusia for your assassinate, Papa, Money.
Ebeleza ni la sekwe
anya mo masase na da ho
ya asase
anya mo nana di asase ma kwa menkroma
ye nananom na de ma kwa menkroma
anya mo nana ne nana ba ko ne bedi akonwa wo West Adenta pe Neo Kataba
ne nana no po
enti Neo Kataba mabusua no ya ntwa asase ne bi ama mo
ye twa bi ma ye
ana ba ni so fa bi
aba so fa bi
ana sibu aviation for fa bi
aviation so fa wo de
na nyore wuti Lands Commission na mo disclose for documentation 55,000 80 by 50 enwanwa
offenty one plot to pay.
And they have 55,000.
Na adentina nipa bebre obi anya bi na taso usun kwa no ono ne de
ono kwa
abat na said ye of omusi e painting no black the man say ya tamo asase kakra kadia man e ya ton 50 adai
70 by 80 asase 70 by 80 asase na dia man no
because one say adie ase taso wusu
ona ne de hu apaso abna ona de hu apaso ate na one mom tete aban adwuma mu a o for official documents e de church nkrofo no why lease di ama obi now ye lease no kwam say 49 years as a sen and new 50 years kra now the ama obi and na on tete nanka freehold afede de ba 99 years afede aba 50 years. Now the assassin 70 by 80 the amobi 55,000. I just say muda ne kuso assassin yantam shi ni ho. Afeni ye be develop ho. Now the money 55,000 we ye nya asamo be kan no. Abusuafo ne de mama ye sisi wo mo a ya ma wo mo dodo no. Eno na ya kakra. Ai. Mesala asimo ye ma mo sen. Because okata bank aso betwa ba ko ama me.
Echire
omu nia ba akokura ne friend say de no Pajo no kuta BMW no no kuta tuo ko wan no de tuo ni hunahuna so asem de yet bi so ene mpanifo madaroma ba bia duro no social media ne de eye ne sey mpanifo ya ba betena sei wo mo Nisa Sraku one head of family Nisa Sraku abusua no Ebenezer ni la se kwe oye la atofoche wani ngani esani nkenoko agla nenu noko atofoche f no ha yeti ha f la atofoche ona enuga ewe ka wie bu be na kan no e ba fe
kokona ya che no goglo
ya che no goglo ni ya che wa we akuchu abi enti Ebenezer ni la se kwe la atofoche and caretaker of Adenta. What the Adenta say? Both Adenta East and West, you know. Adoma bam. Why dear papa? La forma ye be papa. I got about an abu doing so at the pantan. And I would dear Chiledomo. I got about me what I say.
Maybe you also
Nisa Saku.
Yeah.
The Nishka may.
Oh, if
I touch my way if you Nishka. Ni Osheshi. Not been Tabia Mako you. Ni Maswele Yojuba. Okay, Birmingham fan. Woman no papa. Woman na and it's Adenta Yajin Sas every woman some Adia Kodijuma. Adenta West say Nyamen Kwa and also Yaji friend no send Yaji and Omdekoye Telecom. Ama your friends a PNT one. Why I don't West Africa Secondary School. Yaji Omasasi Yaji. I don't know Busia for Mahuna Manisa. Asasia da honina ama unse squatters no kwatena wase chiri ho sa squatters ni nyina o manti ahwe angrafo no manya asase na mode to atopre ade eye power na yagege no mafiri mu nsam asase kakraka asase
ko
university farms so nyina why the papa na nyame ahira mo na mo make sure sense asase no ene di akabia no munyi hu sika bia sese mo gie bia na asase na san o say the new crusading guide estates developer sued for contempt over Pantan lands. What's he saying? Executive chairman and chief executive officer of Trasaco Group, Ernesto Terekuni, has been sued for contempt for setting into motion a fraudulent scheme purporting to execute a ruling of the Court of Appeal without serving the applicant by notice of entry of judgment over a parcel of land at Pantan in the Adenta municipality in Accra. The motion for the order for committal for contempt, which was filed on May 31, 2022, was filed by Jalil Company Limited, indicating that the company has vast land at Pantan and has valid land certificate issued by the Lands Commission covering the said land. It has also stated that the appellant also had valid and still subsisting judgment of the High Court declaring title on the land in favor of the Jalil Company Limited for another portion of the land pursuant to which the applicant was placed in possession of the land. Money Jalil, money Trasaco, and your partners one bit me at church as him.
Yo, Adakabri Mitia at Tifu.
Aha. Ni lase no kasa lase kwe.
Yo, mpacho. Na Edina boy and one Ebenezer ni lase kwe. Be atofoche ewola. Na okatabansu ka baby no me na mehwe na chiwa dinta.
Okay, na me mechia we.
Oh, and one no. Eche em say ye bedu hu nkomo. Yo, ni awo boni say em say sa Trasaco na say the from West African Monopoly.
West Africa Monopoly.
Monopoly. That was the original name of Omode Baho.
The Bass Assassin.
The Bass Assassin. So, Omo Italians. Now, Omo Pejia Assassin fi. Yanana no ho. A
Monopoly green and white for no. Monoly. No Monopoly.
That was the name.
Monoly.
Okay.
Company the Monoly. Monoly.
Okay.
Italian company Monoly. A green and white visa. You go suit you.
That was around 75, if my memory will serve me right. And then I was in, I think, middle school or so. And I had the assassin. But then I Yenimuno. Yena no money, I was a cat assembly and I won't. But at least Omunya, we should be a dio, many among executive document in the BBA or so, Edimao. And he say, family are aware. I him say it will get to a time. At least agreement, ebeba ewiye. Na ya san no atranse because obi beji wasase so be be ye adwuma. Ontumi pam no fi asase so just like that. Na nia adoni bi ewo mu bia no yeso yanya bi adi. If say ye na mu adi no obedi didaw. E no mo de asase na ma. But bi wo ho me adwuma me ye no me wa dan. E bi wo ha na me ba ne ba ko ye nishka ani maso e no ma frɛ me. Ya bese say ko police station. Aden. I say there's my no Trazako Trazako. Oma besisa wo. Dey no maye. Asase a eye adentan any afutu brempon family because eye borderland. Nti ye nyina ye joint because sadenta for the command adenta for ko asore di asase no command. Enye ye afutu brempon for be sore tia ye. Na afutu brempon so sore omunko akwa yeso adenta be sore tia. Enti ye nyina ye ba
joint and severally.
Enti ye fama estate developer no. Oh, this is all what I know. Say ye me nyina na futu brimpon for aye ba akwa di assassin ama developer. Enti police station calling ni ade nyina na akwaye bibi foforo wo mani so a eno so akwaye me dadwen me da me na ni afra me ni aye ne se. Enti ni amemi ni mo ho ano no. Enti se bibi wo ho akoye se Trazako fo no asema omonti ase a ebusia na de asase ne ma wom enti ese omotwin ba asase no asase ruanom no mo ne won tena ase no mo ka ho asem na enye police ntimi solve o problem emma enti de wo no se Trazako fo se obi akwa asase ne ma enye ne kwan so a ombra abusia ne ho because we are willing and prepared to meet him and then discuss, dialogue, and then solve the issues amicably. Tobu pa, omumra. Ni iliaka buho ye nokoro okubacho na.
Yo, ADAKABRI michia wetie fo nyina.
Head of family ni sasraku busua panyini na wo kasai. Ni sasraku mientie we.
Yo minga wokuma bi fe ni afutu brimpon wokuma fe minga nye ni pantan ni kote afutu brimpon de third minga bo ni okokote minga nye fe manche me fe ni nye yo ni afutu brimpon minga nye ADAKABRI ede na aba since time memorial ye nyina ye nim se pantan asase eye ni afutu brimpon asefo edia na papai a oye Trasako yi iti ye family numu
Trasako ne one company and a monolith no another company. Ntuka upadi ubebo tarekuni.
Okay. Okay. Trakoni. Trakoni. Ya busu ye mfa asase ema no. Trakoni. Ye meto krate bia da ho se nya afutu brimpo abusu ya na se ni sasrako abusu ya de asase ama Trakoni. Debi. Nembo no asase ye dia mani ye jelly company. Na asase na edi ma no eye ni afutu brimpon eni sasrako eni edi ma jelly company na esoro ba bia Trakoni no ewo a ye nuanom lafo eni edi ma no inti se wonya ohaw bia mo mfa sa haw ni se obefa ne personal eso hu asase ruafo na ebi ase de edi ma jelly na aba ni die mu a na yatena se na ba bia edi ma jelly so o ma Trakoni so edi enum inti ye nyina ye nwanwa ochina
yati asem na se ye a baby a monolith for ne tie sese no yes separate documents na cover ho
yes
obiane ne nkan ho
asem
ana wo tra hye no baby fufuro
e wo baby age
baby fufuro ba no to ana ye na baby ono oti dada no kra no documents no ni list ni be wubre ben
oh openi ende enche bia na I think say enche
akabe 5 years
yes 4 years 5 years ya na ewu na obegini mpo for farming yes
the amoke na maka bibi okumase eye adumpo segolin na eye no so sa Lebanese ni beji asase no jeje stores no say na ne lease no na papa de wukura koma ne baneti ho na ne ba na dinkrofo ani stores wo jeje sika kese na nipa ba ko pe
Yes.
And okotena bruchire papa kokora bi. And ofra bruchire ba no timi di original your friend say document ba ya. Say na akwa na ka 2 years na.
Wa hwe.
And na wo mo di go through court. And na judge ne ka kire abusuafo ni nyina say munna papa we asese o keep record.
Yes.
Afedie de Lebanese ni ne band ni
saguniti.
Twom no. Enti empanifo bebre asensan documents a omachiri ma no enim
document no wo
and na abrofo no keep documents no Lebanese wanna keep documents no and omo dia mo ma enti ne ba ni disclose nchira mo da say akaba ese 5 years na ba bewu enti mo nyam research yie papa na sa abrofo no ewu a first ayi mo de be ma no na wasa de ma no magisika foforo mo mfa ma no a wo to please no mo sa asema mo na ya mo so mo nana no mo nka nche mo nana no say mo ma records no mo nana no ne mo ma no ehunu records ni bi ye di sie na nkrofo ohunu enti we sa papa no we mfra brochira ma enti mi ama me ka nche abusuafo no say metimi aboa mo na me wo original document a Lebanese ni sign omudu do court na dem trodo na ka akwa 2 years na court no ka cha akwa say kan ko say no ma free 2 years na de jeje nkrofo 20 years madam no mamonto aso
yo wopani ye da say ti say de wo kan sa na tie but nyame adom ye won krata bia wo ho a e fatra ko ne ho krata bia wo ho na de me kan say ni sasra kwa busua ne ni afotoblim fa busua ye mfa asase ma trako ni na wabono anka sampo aba be wia ya asase a ye ne no wo court sese ya wadenta
wabefa mo asase
wabefa ya asase ni bi
kase wabe wia
okay wabefa ya asase ni bi a ye ne no wo court a ye din junction kura ato ne so e wo pantan inti yesre se onya abotre na ochina wafa machine na ode kwa ko bubu nkrofo dan ode kwa ko yesen no ye mfa asase bi ama no
ma ape yentie emfiri akonoba ho
say
enti contempt me na aba mu akonoba
I offer me da wase bebre em say abusuafo say friends akum yajiwo we dem penifo animu so no kure na penifo eden na mo na mo ye the alodia owner of asase e wo pantan ya
na be keka brofo a kire wo na asase ne yo mo de alodia owner so ti ase
offer hwe kwanya eye Ernesto Tarakoni odi residence wo pantan fa so no offer eni enyan say judgment ba 2019 developer na wasase so no nyaye no enu nie and Ernesto Tarakoni o say on take judgment na say and now call a court of appeal so ehwe na say judgment na ye ni say na eti ekoye kodu Supreme Court offer Ernesto Tarakoni etimi alpha fake document
jai
now they acquire so
defective document
almost okay that's the legal term
ni PRO Kwame Owusu ebe chire mu chire yen
Kwame Owusu no meti say na oka na do oka no onim ne oka ayo no na ye decide dey fa say Kwame Owusu na se be ne da eto jo no akasa se kohwe eden yeso over 600 buildings egu honom I say be legal means na residence honom me yakono ba me ka ho ye fine ye kwa and that's your court na honom now there is just a second wo dia wo se ukuta court order o ba no I say wunya bailiff ka ho wunya security personnel hwe judgment we ye ba ye
contempt no when na mo citing for contempt
and that's what Tarakoni
say why ye den
say kwanya ofa so edi piloda e ba honom o say a document or di ba ye kwa fast man ye kwa mpa so etina ya dia wa book what animutia there's what to be jaka say wa fa judge for shobotom if you want panic shobotom na what do you mean na person o che say etini ye pese ye che eye Ernesto Tarakoni say so famra kwan so e fe tu anamon emmo de ne kwan ya ope e de baba bebubu ya dan wo pantanya and yes say perifo from na si from ma ye pese Ernesto Tarakoni tia say we are prepared to meet him because the kwan fa so no just imagine say eye main entrance ahono papa timi piloda osmo bi diplo de bebu ade egu form nyame ade resident ba ko a oti ye nwanom am wo honom omama sutire se ne yakoso nye na resident mi puba honom ebe push for defense na ka bedu fie na ka ye dan ye purpose ho nyina Ernesto Tarakoni ade 3 pilodes ekobubu ni nyina de egu form for what reason enye se ukuta judgment ukuta court order say de utimi tu sana mo no
eti di nyina kire se date a word is a 28th October 2021.
Yes.
So and now say in the Superior Court of Judicature in the Court of Appeal, Civil Division, sitting in Accra on Tuesday, the 28th day of October 2021. And Jamafe J.A. presiding, Bright Mensa and Novisi Ayene, Mrs. J.J.A. And suit number H3/30/2021, Trasacco Furniture Company Limited, appellant, and versus Jalil Company Limited, plaintiff, respondent, Zion Energy Limited, defendant, and parties, they were absent by counsel, and exclusive with Kwame Amemano Tano for the applicant, appellant present, Tafat Tessa for the plaintiff respondent present. By court, judgment is unanimous. The appeal succeeds, and the ruling of the trial court is hereby set aside. The writ of possession dated November 2019, 2019, November 21, issued by the trial high court, is also set aside. No order as to cost. And almost sign ye. It not just a moment could dip him.
Ya could dip him.
Namuko dip him say
possession, writ of possession. A company yesterday developer Onya so to me or what sense to as I say ye can was him. Edusunie
and not just
Edusunie and that's what I call you. I don't know how they know see crowd now. And it's no walk when you saw the baby ya del guno. Okofa wa hefa.
And yes, I didn't know Gilino. As a what theater. And now one man abusuafo na ekasabri. Gilino. And it was all lawyer, the lawyer ni a tafatasa. So no. And one man abusuafo ni just ono there or tababi no come to ya. The maybe the mum vacant possession. Mumfasa as the mammy. I'm not Gilly or Thomas as my yeah resident home. Ye the jaguno so. And to understand the motor what to say as a walk on an animal or court. You see, no, Saquata, you know, a year friends proceedings now, or Quan or Namsono. A year friend say, what's the term for it? Contempt, no, contempt, no, you want the audio, no. What I say, it's no, yes, residence, and you're brie. Then your person, your manner, and that's what I call it, and say, yet you want more by accident, and I say, a illegal means to say that Quatana Honomo. It is all say obedi ani afa kwan boni bi so abeje ye bra ya bra nyina or the just a day best no or the donya say dan begu form over 600 buildings on the begu form kwa ona kwhwe eden ye gu hono mo eden ye gu sa asase ye ka ho asem munya gidie e wo processes no mu say na mo site mo for contempt no competent lawyers e behwe and judge no so court no so no on be mo mani akomu yie ba hwa asatete no DNT enanka Trasacco I may omode a machine no e ba bebubu ho
na menti ase say papa no me hu adwen e woni company no to extend say what we for 3 periods e bebubu ye da guatego anya say bia kuta judgment bi I mean for what reason Enti no say yate say mpenifo bitanachi. There's a mpenifo bitanachi so ye man mpenifo so ate ase say ye resident ye hono residence ye hono no ye nya briye. Enti ye over 600 buildings.
Azipa no obi ne yere ne
machine pay go na some ketwa. There's a total quality do pan say buildings nya begu from no nya Beland no wanya no odbeye no ope. And say ne e den nya beko from na say ne ye krampo no wo wu krampo na ope. Hey. I mean, how can you live with such kind of a mentality or perception?
Yeah.
At the moment, you prepare a signal the government. Sema talakon and my choke cano. Send the spokesperson or kick and your parent. So no, on the didn't first have to bend it down. I'm proud of your man on the Jacacrea Mabu. I'm a penny.
Cacrea.
What do you quite now? I told you about to make a son. Say what the gun, what do you mean? What do you mean? We are prepared for him.
I will gonna for my Yanana Tiasi. It's Yaya when Yenya. It's Nina and say, Yenya Butre, Nayanya GTA El Cord. Into Nila Sequi.
I pretend Yenya Bia, but near you mean I am sure. Yes, send a million American. Oh, quite you might ask class on the Bania Budan. And then and class I say, what is Kakoto? What's that to you, Merum? I said, they sit dying. Now, obedi just a twinkle of an eye. Why are you going to start from again?
Won't me move.
Ube dam.
I want to me move.
Nti yɛsrɛ no.
It's when and come to be moved down a process for who ya or much sign.
Where your original here?
Where your original one?
Judgment ne a writ of possession.
I know I'm
fake yi. Out as here. Me register ko a any connection ko a and that time for you. Owo e ho no mo 20 minutes sir.
Register so pamocho.
Also pamocho. Ah wu. Back kra. But then no, you person or man the say we are prepared for him.
Nya me ka chere na say Terekoni so owo how bia omomode no ntu anamon no mra abusuafo ne ho asani dividu amemiti he minim say ya friend actual letters upon letters at the staff how do we call it in tree
adwumayefo
no
Chamicho.
Achapuma.
Ya dia ko ne ho ya kwa yeso oni ho jembe be ko biara ho kwa yeso oni ho letters
kabodi achiame puma akotwe na
akotwe so wo de bra ne atina ase ye ko wo ma ye atu anamo ba ho so omu ade
so did you bless me enya ne ope
omu ade
odumini ope
na ne ha me say
na yemre tie ne ufifre fe meto ade na fa je se ke fa be say no
odi sa kwa no say yesi waware Ghana ni
we Ghana ni ono kwa no naturalize Ghana ni ene papa de ne ba Ghana no ya akwala kete iti tama ne papa ba ye no na omo han dan kra wala boni iti o han dan wala boni wo hene kese bi dan na no han e wala boni ene ne omanya sika yi aja e 20 e kire se kra wo benya sika wo Ghana wate ya na eti desi a we Ghana ni na mo ni delay no
e chopa me asase me pa ne cho so oni de omra ne tam na so
edu oba priwe no afi na de ye de ma no so no ye be de ye ba
onu
afi de ye ba be so no ho
na kasa no or another court issue obi a yaton asase ama no e Ghana ni a yan nanan ama na asase ama onu so aton asase na ama Trasako bio
o sa hey what you talk asase no they just Trasako say phase 3 na sa enti phase 4
enti ya shesha nkata ya sade na kokot ya sade
Ernesto Terekuni
Ernesto Terekoni Baroni Terekoni sade na kokoni Ernesto Terekoni ya prepared edwan kokot yo enti so opasumdwe a as a Ghanaian opasumdwe a ontwe mabusua no
na mo negotiate
yanka na yie nto yie no bi anya na sumdwe
but mo mpese obi a mo de asase ama no no Kwame Osudan so na oye Pia Roma Trasako enti o se man opportunity da bia na ye betwe mo so abo de omu din aba ha bia no o se mo makonya no mo so obibi kan enti there is a newspaper publication in today's edition of the New Crusading Guide and page 10 estate developer sued for contempt over Pantan lines yankwe na yane Kwame kwaje bizoso da so ye mo ha
mini ADAKABRI bejoso
na mpacho wo te se Kwame
enya
kredi se pede so dey asem papa aye New Crusading Guide page 10 or aba estate developer sued for contempt over Pantan lines or executive chairman and chief executive of Trasako Group Ernesto Terekuni has been sued for contempt for setting into motion a fraudulent scheme purporting to execute a ruling of the Court of Appeal without serving the appellant by notice of entry of judgment over a parcel of land at Pantan in the Denta municipality in Accra. Yay, Bibi Hosa.
Mini Ambrasi. Says so back my last time now. Me know what you train come on. It's just on send me up to we need Court of Appeal ruling. Now we wanted to execute the ruling of the court. Now, a Nigeria injunction from Yellow Company Limited. We should stay execution and then make what's it called? And then, when the Supreme Court finally decides on the matter, on that, you see me, when you're better from it. It's a chance to tell them last time. Supreme Court really on the injunction, and the Supreme Court really on the injunction and I just said the better execution, and it was fraught with so many issues. I'm saying on the last time, no, I wanted to make but a police penny now or Adenta the commissioner Akwe Efre Sasako group no and Jeleo. The Naya Coffee and I cook with some Naya shed the way forward there. You buy almost also buy, almost the lawyer buy, said the lawyer buy, and the TV and someone so a church someone says, instead of Bia, be able to the city. Yeah, now, you have a corner. Who say almost the contempt application biaba. Na me pese me kombi because asem no em say one ka so ne mrakakra. Say asem ne self judicial.
Yes.
Would me everything bebre. So no maybe me nkasa bebre. Metric so na court no ruling on the contempt application we are. Na fe wadaroma metric bre na ma bet na studio ho.
Yes.
Na ba so mama Ghana for ehunu le ekoso. Na MB to say the Abafano, Chinchim Conforsa, Jesus, Asenia, Mr. San of Beckham, and the news, let me give you the there's over 600 houses are people who don't have there. In a cat mount here, and then you be out with you, saying on a press. Then can't give the people that here. Now, publication is a little funny because in one breath, you know, who the level, what's the assassinate out there? Now, who's assassinate out there? That was true. Let me tell you. I didn't know how to say, oh, the assassin of Trasako Baby, if you were a panta. That's assassin on the other house to say, a die of it. You can't say the book here, but the who say assassin out there. I didn't see that was true. The assassin could do Trasako or Baby Book, I said, or one book, the Dia was assassin that. So, but, so no, that is me a lawyer. It's no, I don't know what court to point here.
I say yen nyina benya gidie say processes no enko na yen nyina ye hunu ba bi asem no nokreda enti yen nyina ye committee ho say obia embrichi ye apparent peace ye enjoy ni nyina ye ntwen to court no be resolve issue no yo kwa me ye da ase yeso so ye wie bibia enti yen nyina ye betwen
eno me frochi
achire frame ni eni nkomo na ye prese Ernesto Terekuni sade mea ma de nyina wafa kwa na ne aye adwuma de ama na kwa na ne afri mu no e wase boba na mo be bonsa akura you that's it all right enti sade wo sika no akona ba wo de ma ne nko
offer na mbisa wase mo de na mpese mbusa kwa me danso ne se wo si unko bubu dan bia e wo site ho no ma e ba de se na entrance na a lead to the fence to the estate on mono. Mukutimi a pillow de cobuno.
Antini nyina twa se.
And you know, Safa son akamo. And a mutimi access and you right estate in mu. Mukobuni compare there.
Also, o stay.
And I will take the access on.
O stay.
A fence a belly better than a car who took order, belly better car home. Security person in a car home. And we are sending this signal to them. Yeah, blip papa. Come about try ya.
I was a radio near public a pen saying. Entity. Now radio na djuma o say dey ya na say you create harmony. You create unity. You create decency line bi. It is so long as say court yetimi enya gidie wo mu say ombebua. And na wanya PR so wagina bonten ama omanma nyina ti bi say they do not intend to proceed say yekobubu obi adan. Enti mu nyina no say they are seized with a notice of contempt no into almost so do omura akwakoshim yenya na botre na yenya na adwebrewo na obi ahon hare no enne ya ne mu ya kakra se obi ani bi odi to aduane ade enti kakra na de yeye mu no yesan ede ye manso bebre so ebesa enti nizasrako shida ha he wa oba akpa nyefai oni bonisa nyeba wahefio na kwa bonisa bonini bi ba afi
yo dumo ora don nyoma job kwa mi to ma bi papa lesson shi wo hani
we Germany na couple
yeke ko ehe wo ba shi lese shi no ni yo mi ji akeshi won pa mo fen mo anatwi sane ya jepo ye kojomohe ni wo kojomohe amba kwami
that's right
koni ameha ruling ni ibahie ha woku mefen now trasakolo trakoni ke ye bi kwemi mabile sande
okay
na moji esiponche
technically money the onemo was semono and now it's Trasaco Furniture Limited.
That's right.
In fact, first year land no
Yeah.
and a year monoli.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah.
It's baby onemo kind the Trasaco the name
Yeah.
Jalil Airtrain.
Yes.
And a Jalil so any Zion Energy Airtrain.
Yes.
And a monso so a momo abusuafo do na hia mu ya munya bi ntu aduade dia.
Yes.
Moma sa ase na nkrofo.
Yes. Ona, no ninto ma wi dia keshona. Heni jelly yo. Wo kume, wo keje me ha ku Trasaco.
Etini nya be daddy o court.
Ona, no amaba. Mi ni eba. Ni nsane be ba kumo woni bi ye je me.
So o se frontage ni pe.
Any no frontage e penny. Ka ba kumo frontage e penny.
The intention is
Shikana ka fi e beje shika bi yo.
Abono nya on finish.
Ona, ko mu fun ba ko bu e ko na tete o mo ton pe. E ka wo shele gbe yi.
Japon. Yes. Edi akona. Monko didi. On to do kono.
Ko didi ni akodi ya yere no mo.
Monidi. Shitalo.
No mo ni ele wo ba ye ni. Ni ele wo ba ye ni. Shi won wie wolo sane.
Wolo sana wi one.
Ona, bia ne shina ataye ma na nie. Mo ko eme shipon bibio e han bo agashi bando ba ko. Etumo first don. BS. Yo no mo mada health minister shin. Ye be ko ni fi oni ba ho ne ni Pantan Hospital. Nyomba drum na eke ni bi esu egbaji ano to no. No obi a na eje mejo. Wo hi o ya ke wo gbeko na mo ne. Shi heni wo ke ni bi e she. Wo hi o ya ke shi wo ba anye ni wo gbe no fen no na. Ni wo wondale shin. Ye nga wo ke son mo ni ike nye nuchi mo ne ese. Wonda wo ku me fen shin. Mo fe mo anatwi. Sani wo ba gbe na. Nye radon.
Ofa obeso keep ah say jamin tumbu asna me hwemu ye why some benya copy mommy sisi mfanto ase na ya na mremu asem sa wa anye careful wo ye from so ba ko ye so na ya no ano eti na hwa ade mo de ba ye nie ye hwe so ne eti panfo
u kan asem bi evidence we here
asem da no eti abusu apanyini yade wasepa
yo mesime dase
yade wase miama de nyina lasekwe yade wase akonoba ofa asante ne branch ya wakwa akwhye
wontolala na
right eti yabete monka eti asema da no eno no guzina de need 100.9 Obeka bia be ya no kra Nana Hamilton and say waka say insurance enko na beba wakwan mu na de meka bia be no kra so dia na Kunlu Ghana Limited de waka bia no kra Kunu Ghana Limited and was a network radiama Emma Muntie Araba Bazin pills and what they Abba Araba Bazin pills was a painful cramps during menstruation or say thick dark offensive whatever Nina candidiasis and as a white happy bleeding Nina or say sexual frigidity lack of orgasm in sex and as a sexual weakness in women Nina say Kunu Ghana the Araba Bazin the Aba Eba correct sex disorder Nina amu oba wa ye defo oba wa de ho oba no atimi ayese kama na ne be manishia wani atimi akwani ji amokwa akwaji no so na emum no wani anko no ma bia ebe distract so Kunu Ghana and our the Araba Bazin Abba and so and what the mema or the honchon capsules over 35 years, over 40 years, who were prostate disorder with the diabenia with the honchon capsules and I would the ebabesiano a 2 hour back a day or bedrooms or makuma cumpre numachi and said at the achino when to me cry nay nani tikura pino nina no a Kunu Ghana and I obey me at the abrewo Kunu Ghana children was at the Mr. Keo libido in men stressing men nina no a diabenia honchon capsules and whatever what do you call it premature ejaculation and unti ubekwa no akwa pebi na base wakoma aye o pressure aya de benia o pressure no ultimi say enye stable na pressure no ultimi say o ho ento ye na hia ma say ultimi stabilize no na ultimi ema no makoyia kin tablet Kin tablet and a Kunu Ghana what the ebrewo from Kunu Ghana it was 0244 139 176 024 439 1769 and into Kunu Ghana and a word you may at the Amayanim. At the Kunu Ghana dear, Nina and say, Uber friend was 020 413 9176 020 413 9176 027 413 9176 027 413 9176 Kunu Ghana over the counter pharmacy biada herbal and chemical shops in Yanada pharmacies in Yana Kunu Ghana what the Aya Araba Bazin mama what the honcho capsules of my mama what the Mr. Keo my mama what the king tablet at the Ma Obiana Kuma Yadi Hanapa Kuzunati need 100.9 FM and Okafuakwa of the MPP TT Katino of the NDC National Security Matters. Are we joking? Or anasa yanya freedom of Ghana has a any tapuri yahuana, excuse my French. Omo baba junjo home. Gusuneti needs 100.9 FM in the studios TT Katano of the NDC and Enoch Afuakwa of the NPP. I should have worked on Atnasi. Miniam Watnasi. Now what to say? Yama phone will be on your dear. You Ninsuito Yitem and Fa will be a let them in Quatema. Ah, dear, Ligon here, Suyadi, mammy. Titi! Yes, ADAKABRI. Oh, yes, ADAKABRI.
5+ forever.
Yeah, mommy 5+ forever.
Ukataman.
Ukataman. And so I just asked my make and it's also much mommy.
I was so much. Last year we I
was so much. Okay. And baby, a minimum fleeted.
I mean,
a time Ukataman. Now or Tiasiano. And a West Adenta behind a year West Africa ho. And a year Lance for national security for no more assassin. Did the dem president a year John of Jikumko and na Ukataban a coon fee getting to midnight. A cocoa ye the day when the gate no and a papa no sorry was as a dear now be the do gate and as a process for canoe and it's a nanabidiaco. Actually, the most papa cocura also your hine a war a West Adenta and a national security for Abasse or Monelancy, but Jens Asino and Sassi so and a PNT for a J. It will Catabano so no nana, ni papa, and the day aviation Sassino so and ma, Amen Chroma. It needed to Catabania added to track and some in the sad time no, and it's just a mammy dinimo Cataban, a papa tonko for a stopo, Sadia national security for in a Jenny Frassino. And no, ma'am, a year until a year a store being the pa. Omu chasa asino, it be a de ma a year Ukataban, and then a busuan and the man Ishika, and then what I say a year Maxwell no into Chama or Mono, and a cocottes of Enma, why am I dumb for? Into honor a GF in Pennyphobe, Hono to you. I want no Rashid Peppo, no walk can or tomb for 7. Rashid Peppo, Ukataban, a man assassin, I was assassin noa, Jonko 4 pencil, Yamiyadma, Yafamu Cataban, on Gobena assassin be at Nassau. Dono, and Nemukasa Basano, it's a hawk. And a mammy near Busiana yet or young core. It's the account, sir. Umucha send a mammy.
The crack running saying.
Yeah, now, Faber say aviation, the Ansono. Yes, and Trebia Mohomono. And now, free more. It will free more than Nibusian neighbor, Compajo. Oka no treat you also, Oka no treat you also. And a mere minia clay. Na clay so soon and hey, action across was answering so. And he said, Pajo so no. Yeah, with the free one. After the year 2 a year, you trade my Busiano. But I'm told Sabusiana, dear cry, and woman, you come out, woman. The side dream, one cacra. Eh, Ukanka, and Grand for Naban say, Omen here 2 or more. Ditty! And I mean, can I say? Because then no more man, I say, you never crack to associate the man, woman. Your dream, one cacra. I'm saying that the Martinas have never catch them. Too late. Yatitins Asinoma, any a DG 80 by 70, a DG 55,000.
You have to wait me out of it.
55,000 to what thing can I say any 55,000?
Hey,
Ni? Afakwa. What he has say 55,000 or the quarter dentas as Unibi.
ADAKABRI, the answer.
Nana, I fence cried in one. I just come rob one aqua no. When you're 55,000 through Ama.
Last week, I say, me to airport. If I have ready now. One out, baby, our age, my way. So, our buses be 35. Last will be since our buses are 35. 35. Oh, them. Oh, them. Yamakoye. And so, as I said, the Oka. BCB, so no jam. I think say whatever it is, no, will be a judgment, be so possession. How do we
reconcile the two?
Really? Yeah, them will say the best to answer. I'm a mobile. The best say yes, CNG, baby budo, the ABCB and there should be some arbitration. So yes, idea.
Now, land issue one can say. Young tree a boasia, a bedroom breathing, and then a bit macrofadia bro, mine.
It's going to bring, you say, apart from Greater Accra, Greater Accra pen and comforting me to answer 2 times. So, names are.
Was it 2, 3 crap?
Greater Accra pen, I bet because I say, stool land now, a war clan for Nansen. The una we if you penny and I said, leader of the house now, or no car baby pet. One car baby cry, no be so. Or be a 30 age to assassin.
You have the double sale of land be Accra. The same way America call buying in. How can somebody have possession? Somebody have that. Another story.
A title so could be nyaswa.
That's it.
No one know. As a Ghana pen it mean title me, you know. Obi could titles there give them.
You know, serious. I was here to me
It in sase bit me a compromise your national security and
Sure.
afwa.
Sure. Of me that's it. Okay, issue of land. Issue of land na a so peculiar. I was here shiny because assassin wants them. The money be attracted to investors. It's about your land administration system. The obet me a farming. Obet me the industrial driver currently a woman. As a result of land utilization, yeah, and until land administration, yeah, they are who here ye pa. And apart from that, and so no, system of ownership. You say in terms of land, no, there were hierarchy of titles. The allodial title, no, and then the highest title in land. But over Greater Accra has say na, allodial title, no, ebi akakwedi families nimu, ebi ewo himfuni stools nimu. And they be individual lands. But we call other parts of the country like the northern part now, we say be a Tindana land. We call Asante mostly stool lands. We call central region, part of central region. Chifu and then side honomona. There are some portions here stool lands and they be also individual lands. Honomoa pre-colonial era no. Be no individual bit me land outright from the stools are. Be almost the director in terms of ranking of the titles, no, because of money that allodial title owners are. This year, never compensation near the royalties are states, you know, each individuals, no. I don't see okay the nature of land administration is saying now because of the nature of the fragmented nature of the title holders, among the management is so difficult. It creates this double sale, this MI. Unfortunately, now you were almost about 19 and I say more than 10 legislations are now a government land administration in Ghana. But by virtue of the year passed the Act 1036 into law, no, the current Land Act, no, I cure a lot of this mischief. The sanity prevailing in the land administration in our country, especially in Greater Accra, because I say, oh, tongue cancer, ye pa, why yes, ye. Now why due diligence proper pa ye even why due diligence in crown I was say o 9 yentintia e wo ho so no hu sasase no and pass you are buying from the rightful owner and kasa it may be doing say the threat to national security ebi ni the threats are yenu anu mo free pantan ne adenta e betina ha say ya enimo the threats and where omo issue e by over me share document omo de ma we no ohun here say there has been a court ruling in favor of the appellant. A trial court decision was set aside by the Court of Appeal. No, I don't see currently. Like I say, in terms of the legal title, a movie from one point to the other. And now, in terms of possession, and also no, they are resident there. As from more properties, any idea what assassins or multi assassins here. A crime many befa so abutoyem beba. Because they are also a ruling in his favor. So also to assassin in the past. No also no a moving into execution of the judgment. As he say no rate of possession also has been issued in the favor. No. A quite many befa so ye beti me enyama asumbiaba. Asumbiaba ho no mo ade okuta why japade was so free say olusu ne rightful property a ono also no wa brain in the past na watimi enya akwa. Obi so free say what to assassin in the past court in ceremony are there back and forth by the grace of God. And also ruling in favor. And also no be enjoy the benefit of the right. A crime many be faso I bet me a masanity are prevailing now. Because you two are called trade be a trade. Na asumdwe bua aba. The manage issue we say yeah. A bet made the or how any chimato aba ye national security system ni because or my never say asika e dey approach for na soldier fa kogu ho. Ya to aduane amomodi ye the fuel any ade akwako abom ho ka ye be hia sika ni bi kwan dey major drains in the national capital is we yiri any near man show talk akra ni show yiri fan kran is yes sika the expansion of our drain system ni ade say asumdwe ama ho no mo a sika ya ye hia bi dia infrastructure development no and we mi so ne ye kwaseye no e dey akọbọ ban e ho no mo say dey be asumdwe be ba because at least nipa nkwa ehia echen ejapade edunti oman no be say sika e wo nyina kwa hye de be bo nipa nkwa ho ban a me feel say papa nenso so no asomdwe di be wi a ye timamufo ya ne be say bisa ye ho say ye kwan ye timamufo ya ne be say ka kire say ye nisuo ye nkane asem ye school sem way anyway edunti wo fa ye land administration system no ya de a say de obisa ye no say yan som ye ne yan wosa ne ye ne am manage ye a ede o ye ne kese pa betimi abre o man we say ya emfa asomdwe ma enesco terraconia ye boni din say no ye amafoforo so nipa but ene o ye Ghanaian ni because I use by naturalization or whatsoever he say o ye Ghanaian though say who ni din so Italian
why investment
be so Ghana has edunti are we depriving him of the right ana ye nua no be kasa yin so no Ghanaians are almost so ya wo mo ha say by virtue of the fact that they are born and bred here no ancestry no lineage na every Ghana has say no almost so japade o maye no so no by virtue of this ruling no and the issuance of the right of possession by the court no ye kobu wadan na gu anase ye the execution the kwame ne dey faso ana the management of we na akoye over akoye besipani ko ni haban yo
se ni nyina na ye ya na documents na ya na ekipo no because I recall say ohene bi ewo asante say donyina and ewo ajusu municipality
sure
and papa bi koje akonwa na sase de dokoko 1943 and oji asase scale dua ye nyina e ba se ye koje asase de akodokoko no e ba se hwesuni bi erezi manso no quite interesting say ohene no otia akonwa so sese no etimi ko fa book etimi trace records on 1943 and na papa ne be ji asase no sika wotua ye nyina otimi ede ba enti se sa record we da wasa ohene no ne nananom be di ade no etimi keep record ehunu nipadi asase ama no sika otua ye ene ye de ama no freehold ne ade obi betimi afiri ba bia kofa na asase sa keke
untimi kofa bi untimi free ba kofa na asase keke because of say our proper documentations are govern no eno ne one of the novelty make say the Asante's two secretary customized two secretariats ne ewa eboa the governance of because two lands in the Ashanti region because we share otumfo these two secretariats ni ade na omo document a lot of this land titles ni sa enema no enunti ebe din say obetumi akoka say asase we say no ye de amount infie do de amount ne bia nkrata e wo ho no ebi da baabi but family lands no Uncle T wa ha ebi Uncle T me yonko no omo so ebusu na asase ne wo omo Uncle T rightful here to the throne and that's what we ebusu panya na one of the elders of the family okotwa asase bia ma me waje ne kakira obeje the consideration
ne papa maso ye enan omo nyina ye mema asase no so papa ne de ba de a nipa nan no obi
ahye wo mbi enu nti that kind of rivalry ne ho ne free ba Uncle T de waje ne de awie akotena ne ba bia
no akoka che ne nua kuma ba akoso se omra wo ho me harase wo
kwaje wo de we so abakwaje wo de enu nti sa systems na ekọ ni nyina no e wo senke ye puti ye land administration into an umbrella at least enka by virtue of name course you nki adopt a different model e ke betumi abo ayen ye pa ofa wo hwe ye land
ba se ne ni broni anante dada na Land Registration Act UK is it 27 or 29
1925
so until land registration ni broni anante ne ye ntimi an register lands as per omo nhye
over unse abrofo ne ba ye na kasa no the indirect rule system no ne ba ye na kasa no oman take total control over
omujano
man bi mai by virtue of the fact that say omo pese omunya access to our people and until no more resistance ne man na e ba na so omo anyusu omo adopt a system no omo anyusu ye ne ankasa to manipulate our own selves na emwa omo et omo system na omo use ye no enu mu bi na yen so yenkofo no so no adopt ya ye ne ankasa ye manipulate ye hu sisi in terms of the management of land ohwe insase sisi ya sisi act 1036 na criminalize double sale of land
you bet you watum
sisi act 1036 no asan so am make even trustees of lands any family heads ni ade nyina accountable that's as what ton say obu hu accountable for family members any ade nyina I make chiefs accountable any ne man bia who the kind of resistance ni ade ba na even adoption any say ye begia to me dey aye adwuma kwan so difficult for us because
operationalizing act no so ye issue
I issue am because it has not been with us ohini bi aton asase a Sebio, Kaka Papa woman, one America crab near the Akan, yet to once in
Beam.
And I am assassin Sebi. Sebio, and Anonymua. I assassin or Nakasanedia or in the Bushaka Crano.
And so, oh, that's assassin in trust.
In trust for the people.
Yes.
But you have who say, Abaye or Nakasanedia, as I am crying or any, of course, until in a a Sima or na.
I couldn't know what is one. Why we near Comiano, Obian, Mumudu does an Abetan Cransia, Africa, Moody Christmas card crack more.
Offer, it yet me adopt a system, be say the revenue I generated from this resource of the very families or the stools, no. You bet me accumulate be. Nana now Tiakomia so no, ya pay package be say, so he need to hold maybe Abosumi be on the consideration of the man. Of managing when the budget is
when you're back with the more, 100 acres of land.
You see, that kind of a quiet first one, yeah, dissipating family, stools, and individual.
How does that dovetail into national security issues? But for now, or say, a quania year first so a year dissipating family lands, yet it is as a ton, or him back with Mercedes Benz back one, no 100 acres. Not what Timuna just said, what Jinchia, Ajiako, not just say to Mr. Leba, na Afinsasi, a common idea, and Jibay. Titi, yea, Nanny.
It's going to be very
in the coming years.
Yes, in the coming years. Because then they would say, me, and I may one back and 9 they are all apparent heirs to the na me call. Na first, a ton. Second one, brutally. Aba, no see yet in one man. Na ebia ya ton am 3 years kra won develop you o de anua me nu bia kogu so o say away possession na obi aye re-entry what man say inti Greater Accra there highest to any family land no is I bet check. And this is more or less like the culture national because Otoma Mr. A now Otoma Mr. B now nko ye assuming you've sold the land to Mr. A, and he sells it to 100 people. They've built on the property. Only for you to come back and go and pull a 1979 title, say, you don't have a right to sell it. Now you court near proof say
Obiso actual possession.
Actual possession. But 400 do assassin.
Equity and answer the
I don't know. It's going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult. That's why I think say in this case, no, Madame for now or no what title, no, a bad thing, pap. And you know the painful thing, they do that stage we are. More to assassin the man, double say no more no. They can nowhere found. They cannot be found anywhere.
But when the spectacle of say, and then nipa be braided in indigenous gas, called Osu Castle, actually ho. The main dream bio and them said that a binary baby bit of Baba yes landing site bio. I must see ano a chia nyama a book on crofo fee Emma a punu to San Crofone. Ain't to see a Santon Thomas as a punu to no free a punano usu on monoa. About what's I
must be the Marine Drive.
Marine Drive naturally no and almost a landing site so and
these are people
or a Holland consultant no and a wako site sa landing site no and no makoya some works or and na fe de ensuo e bufa so e tunknafo no e kire me po am akwa kohwe no beka ho asema kire me nyanya abre nkohwe
so any issue metimi ahweza ho
a very big issue
ADAKABRI ye bet na se aman crime sase no ofo bi aton ni nyina enfo na nkasa enya bebi
no makwetna he
it's very painful and who remu so a you know the other day no obisi o La Pleasure Beach
aye
because obi kra amako etire my cousin okay I mean ko etire I mean cousin atangmai so ka
atangmai
good
where
the founder of La Pleasure Beach
atangmai tale
wo the ba mensa na ehwe
wudi nsem hunu pa na atangmai po chan HC wa
atangmai na founded La Pleasure Beach
yes
those times and the Rollins car say oh IFFF the NDA
oh sha
and now me know ka say lands commissioner that whole stretch of land is registered in a limited liability company name
atangmai din member
no
here As
I speak to you, no, attack my back, Mensa. I say, o develop a structure. When you skaka crop, so see, BB in his father's name, Samai, Ewo Hono, you call Ladma, Lada de Kotopon. That's somebody's name. We are processing it, up him dying.
Hey,
as I speak to you now,
attack my
of La
as a Satan Power Kaipa La Plaza
Beach. It's registered in a limited liability company name. I don't want to mention the name.
Mabregu.
Next time, Baby, documents are
Mabregu.
It's in a company name.
I tell you, check a crack farmer.
Debbie. The place now no one crown. Somebody's encroaching on it and crowd put the assembly buyer. And me a call. That they go to pon. The assembly could be same say. I dear Muye cry and tears you. I think, yeah, sassy. So can't hang my. It ends the matter of being this is the person and we cannot get anything in his name at the beach. I'm telling you, the whole beach is registered in a limited liability company name. And you are asking that who was able to register what must I say?
Several phone and I'm Krumwa, as I see the Hodoma, who didn't Chimwa, on Bakako, yes, such we only register in their name. Sasa wouldn't say, wait, dear, okay, you back on Alpha.
And now I'm even trying to find who it is. No matter what catches and patcho.
Would they check it through?
Yeah, we can't find them. There are no details. McConnell's commission, they can't find them.
Yeah, cover up.
There are no details to that company. So it's a challenge for me now.
And I'm going to register general.
What is that tang my? Me papa, yeah, tang my senior brother.
Oh.
That's how come the thing came to me. Me papa. I am friend. Also, my papa. And now, oh yeah, I thank my senior brother. And this has come to me, and I'm in shock.
Debbie,
we wanted to just erect something in the memory of Atangmai.
It's that time, not yet. That time.
We wanted to erect something in his memory. What must I say? So, the Atangmai name, 90% of our blocks, they came together, voted money, and brought the money to Accra. We are trying to process this, and we want to go through the normal procedure. Oh, it was
early 80s to middle
80s,
you know. Just attack my hey, who's still about there?
But is it over?
It's painful.
And you check time and I say in your title. The time at time I was in possession of the land because in terms of adverse possession,
a conveyance,
adverse possession.
12 years.
12 years. When you are in possession of the land for 12 years, no, be a possession reverts to you. You become the owner.
We still have something there. There is that Sunday thing.
What you money?
So say Sunday go for Saturday. There is that small structure near walk. And community see a India till today.
I have but now.
But you call people so.
I will be because I know 12 years. Mutiti baby. And I'm with Simu there. And a Busian where Japadia Krana. Now Mutiti baby.
Evolution has gone on to the extent that somebody has registered the La Plaza Beach all the way to the Keshi range. So say La Boma be with to that end, the person registered all the way. La Palm. Oh, I was surprised.
Anybody Juma or Lands Commission? In fact, Lands Commission who come Madame for only your chief driver friend Titi. But Mr. T.
It's a very painful thing. I don't get it.
It's a very painful thing.
I don't get it. Attack my La Plaza Beach. He does not have access.
So what think happen now? Go beach there. Now to near time. Hey, what about now, Gary?
It's a very huge structure. Only power structure. But you know how about Pimsro?
Was that ordinary now? Police or Bana Uno and I am show.
And then he doesn't have access. Baby or hologram. Somebody is claiming ownership of it.
It means he said there's nothing forever.
There's nothing.
It's now let's come to national security issues. And Sassam. And a dear bay, and a bit to me, a compromise your national security.
Over. And so, as I said, yeah, Oshe and Goti, the Oka, tang my issue here.
I'm happy you're able to say it rightly.
Somebody, Obia, why in possession of the land for so many years. Now, Obi Juan says, Obia Fetchakwe land title registration. who said previously, before the advent of the new Act 1036, Nanka Okoye land title registration, Obeko, Yitimiko, you Oko first, maybe I would call January. We bet you the same title of land, no, any completed, no, be after register every year in November.
Faster than you.
Faster than you are, because you're on the first camp principle. But now, by virtue of Act 1036, now, by the new Land Act, the issue of conveyance, I am very easier. You see, first camp principle, no, a year Juma, say, what the qua, it will enter into the system and processing will start, and into the subsequent one, baby, no, it will show, say, somebody has come. And any idea, I be correct the conveyancing in terms of land, organ has here, that paper approach, your Christian children will Lands Commission, Quadia, as I see the Janska Crowd Butumono, that system, no, if you want more, your boss are current administration, so on that score, because streamlining land administration offer a near easy, and it's a threat to our national security, land, because over we had acquisition of land, most of the lands are, and ye first say, be a lawyer title to it, a media, a mebusia dia, a maconia dia, is either by conquest or con, or media acquire, be home coin on Moji assassin. If you on so a discovery, if you are one in Nama for migration or Mutu or Munam, because will be any home, then they settle on the land, and you be a home more conveniently, will be a how more, then that portion of the land becomes theirs. If you also by gift.
And so, any Adriane and so Adriane and Nam.
Exactly. And mostly, because of say invasion near the Indian, wars near the Indian, maybe home person would you can see who said the bay oh, but it's very difficult for you to cross the major river or stream and send what be attached to. Into no settlements near the now. Conquest, discovery, gifts, purchase, but the national security who no near conquest because. Hitting in an area and the jeans as most of the lands near Yakon and Omudi no jeans as no. Discovery ne gifts near the near Caribbean womb. It's ene, say conda so honomo. Obi on officer o gin and sema say officer any dia. And yana kuma de. Or resistance be opportunity up.
A present day challenge is a war boku as to when and a con right assassin.
Whether I say a man pussy for and I say pussy for no. You see. Baby idea kwakodru and the installation of a chief because the moment you are able to install a chief it means that a lot of title then you take over the land and in the way some pene Emma won't see hene when you say akonya e media ni nyina asase kro ya ho senka asase ni ho no mo a ka me gidi he say enke bia santo kwan ke be koso but because asase dey
betimi me yakon in future
asase betimi me yakon in future enu nti no she say ye bia no should be geared towards streamlining the land administration in our country a ebeboa ametimi abo ye japade ho ba na masumdwe a etimu no ye nsa etimi aka
na ene no nsase besides no yes anka terrorism enso so ehonsem
ofa terrorism na be regional battle. The extremist group, and Endra, me share a video clip of a Catholic church in Ondo, Nigeria. Ondo, Nigeria. Share the heinous crime. Of as a film, so be wait here one kasa.
You for some better one.
Wafa, enti also kunya. Just because you want freedom. I was say because of your interest in Tino. Nipa na ebia wo kwa attack ne kra no onfa we interest ni ho
or attention
just for attention sake. And we are not
an election period no mo yes sir.
Election period no emma politicians so open for access you that time now your final exams. And in writing your final exams security is crucial because once our security situation in your country is so alarming any idea I see eba ematimemufo ebohu timemufo bohu so a ene sa na be dey a yenyi we from tim we ho ban then there will be an alternative system somewhere say metua bon ho ban enu nti enkoso ofa we kai say in Nigeria the Boko Haram insurgents and the ekoso Nigeria and the certain regime opposition party be pledge say oba obeti sa insurgents na no kwan and going forward no yet to obama sa party ne buy and pass Boko Haram and that Delta issue no e suppress here there was suppression in that friends activity in that part of the country. So does it mean say it's a rebuttable presumption? Mean can she so conclusively say that crime no aligned to that political party or not. But Rebecca said, a dear extraordinary, and as our party in the government in the and you know, or promise or buy what me deliver. Does it mean say there was a sponsored something along the line? Does it mean say they use instability as a tool to wrestle political power? Wafa, that instability are also in our neighboring countries near the we must be watchful. I mean, I did how many say in Ghana we talk too much. Ghana we talk too much.
Terrorism.
Terrorism, my car sent me some years ago. MPP were opposition.
In fact, I in Okafuakwa and an CCC, or a member of the MPP, and a TT Katano, and a Washasi Okase, also a member of the NDC.
I said, na you couldn't nipa the two areas are pregnant to money. Trying to that's an MPP opposition.
Kwanza.
Yes, make I same way, and they promise some mobile power. A two be trapped. Mpampa MPP came to power and it stopped. Could it be that the person behind it was aligned to the MPP in the quiet mode?
Hey.
Could it? It's a question. Could it? Because the Afro say it could be a rebuttal presumption. Say nipa na or no say me ba ebejai no me ba yasu ejai. Let me ask you, when that thing stop?
I said be a proper security arrangement and stop on.
Proper security arrangement. ADAKABRI, national security threat, so many forms, and to be political power.
See something here, something one day.
See something here, Juma. Social media, see something here, something. But you see something and run and shoot on you can't something. PNC is still because got an choke still. Mumu ha echo see your friend is saying, Ofankor, I see a honor. Why should a major highway President Kufuor Breye Nshoto ka intwemu or taifa enko? How? Why? Who's not working right? Mo peace feminim here me kai last year ye bet na here o ye wa studio had and Nshoto ye maka bia ntwem. The following week ye come one sem din ya no the following week go so be got animu. Okay, on be yi got animu o peace feminim here ene back to itself. He asked self into obi betimi aye adwuma no onya na so betimi ase no onse. Why should it be so? Land administration Osha in crisis here are cosmopolitan. So people are moving in and the real indigenous they are being pushed or shelved to the end. So a bit me do baby water or Mocas and cry for their obey me the on one die high no other thing. Why should it be so? It's peer pressure, circumstances beyond control. Osha in crisis is here. With the Lands Commission, me and track area be like cantonments. Yen ko baby to say Chado. Yen ko baby to say East Cantonment. Near ownership of properties. In crime for saying the was as well. In crime for saying the was as well. They are not back. Brad Joulu. In crime for assassin. Abelempe. In crime for assassin. Now check his in crime for saying the was as well. Because it's cosmopolitan, it has opened the way for everybody who lives in Ghana to be able to buy land and access it. And when they access it and they buy it, it's theirs forever. It's now many and like say Yancy sad no. Now yes said here. The Land Administration Act that governs the school lands and the family lands. Now Uncle say me met me after chat once as now you say there. With time, ebedu baby no na osu no kra no. Ebia osu castle ne osu manche fie ope de beka. Oba la na de kutopon. Ebeka manche ni fie ni clan houses ne because assassin nyina no. Other people will come with money and buy it because we are ready to sell. Why now can say the Land Cruiser back buy a 1 acre amount? Sanity, because the people are impoverished, the people are struggling, the people are suffering. So the moment you are able to bring some good consideration in be crying, papa. Okay? Oko cantonments ene Laboni area. Who will be near Troho? This land I expire 100 years now expire. It comes back to us. Go to Laboni, go to cantonments. They write it on the wall. That says Shikpon. Just leave this land.
Let
me ask you this question. The person living there, no, you're leasing the man 100 years, Nedu. What am I say? And you be a big man. A big man. And politicians have taken over these areas. I mean, today, when you walk into that area, I'm telling you, see on 90% of the walls, area. Those were the lands that were given those times, 100 years nature. But it will never revert to them.
Because here can crown. Oh no, European area, no concept ridge has any other crown. European, use about say US for LG and US for so finally, dear Nadija, Titi Cat.
And I mean, if you say land act, no, also almost share that has to do or share other aspects in processing. Say, say land commission, land title, survey, they've come together. Yeah. They have one system, Oconius can do a barcode, it will give some information about whatever is going on. It's a process with time. But backlog go on and easy. Among entangle system no. In same with time on Beyeho. Among share the one that has to do with the family lands and the stool lands. Because me fear him wewu. He fear him wewu. In say see so be fair say e concern people be say osansan no wu ya. How do we process this?
Okay. It
was say almost share family lands, stool lands in Honolulu. Nah. Find a way to bring an actor a beg of honor.
Also, the anything.
Over. Young T. Kane, is a 100 years and 99 years or whatsoever. But the provision of automatic renewal, any panel, indigent, any idea, no, ever honomo. And conveyance no over a whole seminal. A baby, is a pet time near Betanasi, and I go through one after the other using the Land Act, you know. You find out one after the other. Near baby areas are war issues and Kasankasano. Then, if there is suggestion of a policy, a review or direction, then we go with it. Oh yeah. This idea, all said and done, no. We are moving. We are charting a new path.
New driving. And so that's a bre. Utibuate koye. Ama oba penyini na hima ya da ni koye no. Ene nana kwadwo ye bu ajamfi. Ana ye de no esi adwaso ama waba be hwe akire di ama da sebre enti omahene of new driving nana kwadwo jamfi ye friend nana kwadwo ye bu ajamfi ana eye adehye nan ana akonya no mo premier ama de yia nana to pensre bo no ka ho enti esi ano eye nana kwadwo ye bu ajamfi ana ye de no ekokusie opatom eye adeduanan na watimi aba na watimi aba ba ye de benia di mpompo nsuo aba bi swaye e de ache kotoko hene enti dwabe fufrom de ohodom no yeso so de na ye de aseda ema enokafo akwa anhwerafo akwa oye member of the MPP and say odibai and a TT Katana also a member of the NDC and ono so obetena ase aseda so nkokọ ma wo mo na panyinu kwadwo damiado and a sheshe production ama me ofa ase majero saje ma bo ni chidom na eye na akua afriye and o service woni ansa na technical production so no abrafre ma bankro eye Facebook live and social media san call eye YouTube despite media oni nana ya asafo and o mo chehye edwumadie mi amete ho chia me afra me ADAKABRI Mudu Oshioma mi amade nyina abnamafo ebetena ase yafia re enhye eye nana Hamilton mo